absolute nuzzle there at turn 1. That was an absolute disaster.
Oh, he spun!
Oh no! That's massive for Adam!
All over the rear bumper and spin, mate. These guys are hitting each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
Jeez pulls out to the outside. Here we go again.
AEDST, he's going to go for a move here. The two Ferraris in front of him.
Jeez went wide. Jeez is
Oh!
in trouble with Schumacher. Oh, good contact.
Oh, massive contact there.
This is going to be an incredible finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into
Oh.
turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy to come through on the way in. He tries to reverse and gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though in turn 1.
As he shoves it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR!
Hello and good evening, Sector 1 Sim Racing fans from Australia, New Zealand and around the world. We are coming to you live from Great Britain and the lovely sunny location of Brands Hatch. Rarely sunny, usually fairly overcast conditions, as is tradition in the United Kingdom. But it's blessed us with good weather today by the look of things, although there may be a change later on. We'll have to wait and see. We're coming to you with action from Division 4 and Division 2 in the Sector 1 categories tonight. Very, very exciting racing on hand tonight and tight championship battles at the top and the bottom. I'm joined for race 1 tonight, which will be Division 4, by our race director. That would be Graham. Welcome along, mate.
G'day, thanks. Thanks everyone. Should be a really great evening tonight. These guys have had the benefit of watching Div 1 and Div 3 last week, and I'm sure we'll see a few different strategies come into play and some really strong racing.
That's an interesting talking point, actually, strategy, because I think we gathered last week that there's 2 strategy options, the 2-stop and the 1-stop.
Oh, definitely. I personally run a 2-stop, and apart from a moment of indifference on one corner, it was actually fast and quite competitive. But the 1-stop, if you can run those consistent times, it's right on the money, and I'm pretty sure that was the 1-stop that won Div 3 with the plumber.
Yeah, I think Jeesh won at Division 1 with a 1-stop also, running soft to medium. So we'll have a quick look here at our standings for Division 4 as it sits before round number 3. Benny X leading the way at the top for Respawn Esports, driving the Toyota. 56 points in his tally at the moment. He leads Renegade by 6 down in P2, who's tied with VF for P3. So after 2 rounds, of course, drop rounds yet to be considered, but looking good for these guys at the top of the table. A guy with no skills has had some very consistent performances so far this season, finishing in that top 5 fairly consistently, and that leaves him in P4 with 46 points. Dazza in the Toyota for Kraken Esports with 44 points in P5. PD Pops, after a couple of unfortunate incidents in the first 2 rounds, finds himself in P6 after some excellent recovery drives. Doghouse with 42 points. Debrev, 41 points, takes P7. Laminator for Lightning in P8 with 33 points. So a bit of a gap there in the points from 7 to 8. So the guys down the bottom half of the table definitely looking to... they're going to have their work cut out for them to get some points back. But there have been a couple of notable absences so far this season, namely Good Doc down in P14 has not competed in a round this season. So he does get 2 drop rounds, which means the first 2 rounds will essentially not count for him. They will count as his drop rounds, so he's simply got to do the best he can for the rest of the season, and everything will balance out towards the end. So, current leader, Benny X for Respawn Esports. How do you fancy his chances tonight, Graham?
Yeah, I was trying to, pick a top three out of this field, and I thought originally, that's sort of 1 to 7, 1 to 8 in the championship, but there is some serious speed in this second half of the field. I think Benia, VF, but Lucas, he was very, very fast and consistent in practice. So it's actually a bit of a open field tonight. I think it'll be one of the most competitive races yet this season.
Yeah, I think Lucas or Good Doc, he'll definitely throw a spanner in the works because a lot of these guys are yet to see his pace. A lot of guys in here, it's their first season, so they're not sure what they're dealing with when it comes to the Blacklight Motorsport team owner. So he may have some surprises for them. We'll have a look now at the Brands Hatch GP circuit, which is where we're racing tonight. Some of you may be familiar, some of you may not. We're looking at 9 turns in total. It does actually seem to be more, but the official count is 9 turns. Just over 3 kilometers. Tonight we're looking at a mandatory tyre selection of softs and mediums, which is why we're seeing a 1-stop and a 2-stop both being viable. So you can do 1 stint on softs and 1 stint on mediums, or we're seeing a couple of guys do 2 stints on softs. And it sounds like the 2-stop is the more reliable strategy. Is that right?
It's reliable and quick. It's just not open to any errors. So one little excursion, you drop 6 or 7 seconds. And that at the other end is very hard to make up against the one-stoppers who are, turning in those consistent times.
Quite a short transit time here at Brands Hatch as well. We're used to seeing sort of 20, 25 seconds lost over a pit stop for most tracks. But at Brands Hatch, for some reason, we're not seeing so much of a loss, which is why the 2-stop is so viable for these guys. So late morning time of day for Division 4, and then it'll be just after that for Division 2 later on today. We're looking at 31 laps around Brands Hatch today, so the guys will have to contend with quite a lot of wear on those tyres as they go through. 10-minute qualifying, which will be coming up quite shortly, I think.
Yep, ready to go when you are.
All right, well, let's kick it in the guts, get these guys moving for 10 minutes qualifying. So drop your predictions, guys, in the chat down below. Who you think's going to be pole position at the end of qualifying? Who do you think's going to take the race win, podiums, fastest laps, everything? Drop it in there. And early driver of the day predictions as well. Let us know who you think will be up there for that. I'm excited to see what these guys can offer because I think it's going to be a really, really tight race from start to finish. A lot of variation in this grid as well tonight with a lot of different cars, Toyotas, Subarus, Ferraris, basically everything on offer for these guys is available today.
Yep, and another little competition just to drop in the chat. How many of the drivers will be into the 29s? It'll be really interesting to see once this quali kicks off. All right, I'll start it now.
All right, yeah, and like said, definitely drop in the chat there what you think the pole position time will be for Division 4 as we're about to get these guys underway for qualifying at Brands Hatch GP. Exciting circuit, a ghost favourite as well. Was surprised not to see him in chat last week. We might see him this week. A hero of Sector 1 in the past, and he'll definitely be watching this race with a lot of excitement. I think he's a big fan of the circuit.
Yeah, and I got some very pertinent advice from a few of the guys that Ghost has spoke to him and said this is one circuit on the calendar, do not overdrive. It's that slower brings the track back to you. So
yeah, it's a very tough, intricate circuit that you've got to be exceptionally careful on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I managed to drop into the 29s in my quali, which was a bit of a surprise to me, but and it was just almost slowing down to go quicker.
Yeah, consistency and smoothness is key around a track like this. It's not like the Daytona road course where the power of the Supra was everything. These guys and the guys in the Alpha as well might be very, very strong around here. So we'll have a look at the grid now as these guys are around on their outlap. So Petey Pops in the Alpha for Doghouse Motorsport leads out the field and will probably be the first person to set a flying lap, currently on his outlap. Currently P6 in the championship, I believe it was. Benny Rex, current championship leader for the Respawn Esports car. These guys are practically inseparable, Petey Pops and Benny Rex. They were in one of the practice starts just before we got going with the broadcast. These guys were nose to tail for more or less the entire practice race. And they did have a collision at the Daytona round a fortnight ago. So we'll see if anything comes of that this round, but expect to see these guys fighting tooth and nail for the win of this race. The Good Doc makes his first appearance for Season 7 of Sector 1 for the Blacklight Motorsport ammo-sponsored Ferraris. As it goes a bit wide at Paddock Hill Bend there, but we'll gloss over that for now. He's got plenty of time to set a faster time through that corner. But he'll be looking to hit the ground running now that he's back and start off with a very, very strong point score and move into the championship fight. A guy with no skills who's been consistently in the P4, P5 area for Division 4 from start to finish of this season for the Black Rose outfit. A really good pickup for them. He's been a very, very good point scorer for the team. Desert Sturley for the Kraken Esports Supra in P5 at the moment follows a guy with no skills with a bit of a slipstream as well. And it looks like a guy with no skills might have a bit of a tow from Good Doc also. So these guys might be setting some quick lap times next time around. Laminator in the Toyota Supra of Lightning Motorsport, I believe that is. He's been a bit of a threat as well up the front for these guys. Certainly a handful, and in that Supra, a very consistent car that's strong at more or less every track. He's certainly going to pose a threat to these guys at the front, so we'll see what he can put out in qualifying for these guys. Renegade in the Sylvia for Hooncorp. He's had some up and down races for the start of the season. I think he was a bit of a poor showing at Daytona, but he might be strong around the handling circuit in the Sylvia, liking the Brands Hatch circuit as well. So this might be Renegade's weekend. Keza Johnson in 8th for Baroque 05 Sim Racing in the 86. The Subaru outfit, although it is a Toyota badged car, it is a Subaru at the same time, so they're running those at the moment. VF in P9 had a very strong first round, not quite as strong of a second round. He'll be looking to bounce back from that in the Mercedes AMG SLS, which sets the provisional pole time there for these guys with a 1:30.7, and Rev's Law goes straight to the top as well. 0.6 clear, a 30.1 off the bat.
That's a great time.
And you were saying that a 29 was, possible for these guys, for the guys right at the top, and already we're seeing a guy within spitting distance of a 129. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I reckon once the fuel take a bit of weight out of the cars with the fuel and the tyres come in, I think we'll get 4 or 5 in the 29s.
Yeah, I could see it happening with that sort of pace, although 6/10 clear of his nearest competitor. That's a huge gap to overcome. We can only hope that the other guys have not been able to set the laps they want to set, but that's a fantastic start for Rev's Law. Provisional pole position for the Hooncorp car. So remaining drivers that we haven't seen yet, Brev in the CP Motorsports McLaren, who currently sits in P10, and Malevolent One in P12 for the Deeds outfit in the Subaru BRZ or Toyota 86, depending on which way you want to look at it. A lot of support for Good Doc in the chat down below. So debut for the season for the Ferrari driver. Let's see what he can do. He goes to P4 with an 8/10 improvement. So that's a great job for the Good Doc. A fan favorite in the box as well. Hopefully he'll make his return one day. But for now, he's content with setting the track alight here at Brands Hatch. P4 right now, one position ahead of the championship leader at the moment. So, an excellent start for Good Doc. Desert Sturley as well, flying under the radar a bit there. P3 for now, with a 30.868. Great start for him. Impressive from VF as well in the SLS AMG. He's really working that car hard. He had a bit of trouble at Daytona in the AMG GT3, which was a little bit of a hard car to get around there. It struggled in a straight line a little bit, but the SLS in Group 4 seems to be right at home, particularly here at Brands Hatch. And VF certainly got a handle of it, as noted in the first round where he took the win at Nürburgring GP in this car. He's currently down on his time.
It's a very solid car, still a little bit slower on the straights, but it carries really good corner speed. So if you get that entry, the turning right, it's very rewarding.
Notable as well here. Not a lot of straights for the power to be a problem as well, so perhaps it'll be exceptionally strong here. Speaking of exceptionally strong here, we're expecting perhaps a bit more from the Alfa Romeos of Doghouse. Currently, PD Pop's sitting in 11th. Perhaps he's on a better time here. Let's see what he gets to the line. Looks like a 32 or a 33, yeah, so he's a bit off it at the moment.
Revs is purple again, 0.15. Up.
That Sylvia is absolutely flying around here. It was a very strong contender last week, and we're seeing more of the same here again. Revs Law through the last corner here. I should really get the corner names nailed down for Brands Hatch, or Ghost will have my head, but doesn't quite go purple again. So he's 0.046 off. So real consistent at the moment for Revs Law. So a very, very good start to qualifying. He'll take pride in that consistency, but he'll certainly want to improve his time. Still a half-second gap to the next best driver, though. Also in a Sylvia, the Black Rose driver, a guy with no skills, possibly his best qualifying position so far this season. So we'll see if he can hold on to that for the rest of the session.
And a good position there from Keza Johnson in the Subaru.
I didn't see
only
him come across the line.
0.7 back. Yeah, 0.7 back, just in front of Benia.
He's done well there. Good Doc's been relegated down to 7th place, but I think he went into the pits and will currently be on an outlap, so we may see him set a faster time yet. Not all of these guys are pitted, though. A lot of these guys are still fiddling around.
Actually, Malevolent One and Good Doc, they're the only two on fresh tyres.
Okay, so Malevolent One taking the risk from the bottom of the stack at the moment. Looking to improve, and he's a second up on his time, so that's great. That'll chomp him right up to the centre part of the field with that, if he keeps it up.
Yeah. And Revs is purple again, coming into Clark Curve, and he's got a bit of slipstream behind Dibrev.
But Clark Curve's the final corner. Noted. Got that.
Yeah.
And he's got a
I've printed out the track map before.
Did your research. Very good. 29. Oh, not quite. 0.016 off. He's right. He's knocking on the door of it.
Yeah.
VF has improved as well. He's now within half a second of the provisional pole sitter in that SLS AMG.
He's stopped on the side of the track. I think it's to get a clean run.
Just letting a couple of drivers through.
Yeah.
Very, very good etiquette there from VF as well. Stopping a long way before the apex to allow these guys a bit of space. Looks like Revs Law has parked it in the dirt there as well. So he's crashed out of his flying lap here. He's got a little bit of time to get around and go for another one, but he's going to have to be a little bit careful. He doesn't have a lot of time. Malevolent One has improved. Goes to 10th. The Deeds 86. So he's got one more lap to set here, I think. Might get 2. No, probably just the 1. Eddie Pop's down in P12. Not looking good in the Alpha at the moment. He'll be hoping to improve that. Perhaps this lap. Is he coming around to set a time now? No. So it'll be the next one for him. He'll get one more. It looks like everyone's going to have a grandstand finish here.
Yeah, they've got about 45 seconds to get across the line for one more lap.
Someone we haven't touched on yet is Womble in the newly re-liveried Red Mist racing cars. Supra in the bright orange livery for the Green Beacon outfit. Looking fantastic. There was a bit of debate, I think, about the previous liveries on the Red Mist cars. They had a bit of a comic strip system going on, and it was a little bit funky, and some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but they've looked at a rebrand, and I think it looks great. Nice and bright.
Yeah, he's had a few disruptions leading into the race, so it's good to see him on the grid.
Good to have him back. A stalwart of Sector 1. He's been around for a long time. Renegade's popped up to P4 there as well. We missed that, but he did set a 30.663 on the lap prior, and he's now on his final flying lap, and he's purple by nearly 2/10 as well. He's looking good. The Hoon Corp drivers could lock out the front row here. A guy with no skills still to set a time. VF still to set a time. So they're all on their final flying lap here. Let's have a look. What can they do? Kez's blue on his time. E5. Renegade will be the first driver to cross the line here. He's got a half-second penalty. That's it. He's not going to be able to set this lap time.
No. Yeah.
And he's lost it as well. That penalty's put him off just enough. That's so unfortunate. He's throwing it all away. Keza will come through. Take the position. Through he goes into the Clark curve.
Skills on the grass through Sheen.
Oh, the pressure is on for these guys, and they're falling like M&Ms. Keza comes to the line. No improvement. VF's still on a time. A guy with no skills will come across the line first. Lucas goes P5 in the Ferrari. Here we go.
Those times are an indication of the race times. A lot of the field are very close.
VF stays P2. Revs Law has completed his final flying lap. Keza has. Benia, our championship leader, has down in P7. Only 0.009 behind Keza, but 7/10 behind the leader. So this race, it's going to be spicy. Championship leader down in P7. PD Pops, who's been very competitive so far this season, down in P12. I think we might see a resurgence from both of these two drivers over the course of the race. This could be very interesting. And strategy will play a part as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will be interesting to see just opening stint with traffic, just whether they go soft mediums, to support that 1 or 2 stop.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the launch off the line is important as well. If I remember correctly, the Supras are not particularly good off the line, so they might lose out to some Silvias or perhaps even a Mercedes. So we might see a change for the lead into turn 1, much like Daytona. So we'll give these guys a little bit of time to gather themselves after qualifying. Big congratulations to our pole sitter, Revs Law, for Hooncorp. I think that's his first pole position of his Sector 1 career. So a massive congratulations, a 30.075. We'll bring up the quali results now for you guys to see. Here we are. Revs Law takes provisional pole, not provisional, it is pole position. It's all said and done now in the Sylvia for Hooncorp Esports with a 30.075. VF in P2. The SLS AMG Group 4 with a 30.364, 0.289 behind the pole sitter. He'll be happy with that because Revs Law is a little bit further down the championship standings in the points regard than VF is. So that's good for him. He's essentially the first of his closest competitors. The guy with no skills with an excellent qualifying session finds himself in P3 in the Sylvia. The Sylvia is very strong here because we've got another one down in P4 for Renegade with a 30.663. The good doc on debut in Season 7 in the 458 gets a 30.843, placing himself in the top 5, which is a fantastic start for him. He'll be looking to lock down a podium, hopefully, over the course of this race. It'll be very interesting to see how the Ferrari does on strategy. Keza Johnson in P6 with a 30.847 for Brocky 05 Sim Racing. Benny X in the Respawn car for 30.856 finds himself P7. Dazza in P8, also in the Supra with a 30.868. Debrev P9, 650S for CP Motorsports with a 30.888. So these guys all very close in the .8s there, about 3 or 4 drivers right on top of each other, so they might get scrappy in the early stages. Malevolent one for the Deeds outfit in the 86 finds himself finishing the top 10 there. Womble in the Supra, the newly re-liveried Supra for Red Mist Racing with a 31.4. P11. PD Pops in P12 in the 4C. He'll be looking to recover from there. And Laminator in the Lightning Motorsport Supra down in P13.
Yep, and looks like 9 drivers within 0.888 of the lead.
It's good. It's a good spread along these guys, I think. They've done very well. And a big mix-up of the field, as I said, championship leader in P7. You couldn't really ask for more. Imagine if Max Verstappen in the Formula 1 Championship qualified in P7. Actually, we saw that at Miami not too long ago. Let's see if Benia can replicate the world champion of Formula 1's form that time around and what he can do. But I think we are all ready to go for these guys.
All right.
It might be race time.
Yep, I'll get it ready, and $10 on the Merc leading into Paddock Hill.
The Bacchus.
Right,
the Bacchus car is backed.
Yep, we're going now, starting the race.
All right, ready to rock and roll. Drop your predictions of who will win the race in the chat below. Podiums, fastest lap. Let us know what you think's going to happen. An early driver of the days. Revs Law, a big contender with that pole lap, I think, as well. He's done very well there. Alrighty. The grid we go. Here we are, 13 drivers. Take to the grid at Brands Hatch in the UK. Multiple makes, multiple manufacturers, multiple teams. The lights are up. They're all lit. Out they go, and the drivers are away racing. A poor start for VF there on the left-hand side. He's down a little bit. Your bet's gone, Ori. The Sylvia of Hooncorp will lead. The Black Rose car under threat from the other Hooncorp Sylvia there, who makes it up to P3. Good Doc's having a look at VF there for P4. Up the inside he goes. Very clean from these guys through the first couple of corners there. Good Doc down the inside. Great racing from these two, and he gets through on VF. And there's a move in the background. We've lost Petey Pops early on off to the side. We'll have a look at that on a replay when we get a chance, but we'll stick with the action for now. The lead is in possession of Revs Law for Hooncorp, followed closely by a guy with no skills for Black Rose. ISA Renegade, I should say. The second of the Hooncorp cars will be looking to get up there with his teammate. Good Doc with a fantastic start up to P4 in the Ferrari, leads VF by just over a second. And it looks like we've had a great start for Womble as well. He's now in P7 there in the red mist entry, ahead of Benny X. The championship leader goes down the inside of Dazza Sterling. Can't quite make it happen. That was very ambitious, and that's put him on the back foot here. Benny might get a sniff into the next corner, or the next couple of corners. We'll see. Oh, the Kraken Esports car a little bit sideways there as well. Did you see that? Oh, these guys are wringing the necks of their cars here. They're bumper to bumper as well, as we see Good Doc going for a move. He's going to look to the outside of Renegade here. He's got the overlap. He's got his nose ahead around the outside of Graham Hill corner. Is that right? Did I get that corner right? I think I got it wrong.
Clark.
Clark curve. Oh, mixing them all up. Ghost is turning in his grave. But Good Doc is through into the podium positions on lap 1. He's done a fantastic job off the start. Womble up the inside of the Kraken Esports entry behind him as well. But the action is just not stopping here. We can't look away even for a moment. The Hooncorp car now under threat from Womble as well. There's a bit of a tap on the rear as they go through Druids there. Down the inside, he's looking for it again. There's a bit more contact. Oh, a little bit wide for the Hooncorp car. Womble's hip and shouldered his way through, and he'll go through into P4.
Up the inside, yep.
And he's got track position, and there goes the Kraken Esports car as well. Dazza Sterling looks for it, but he gets cut back from Womble. That's a fantastic move there from the Red Mist car. Great job. Let's jump on board.
Yeah, P1 to 3 are on racing softs. So it's a real mix with what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cars on mediums.
Look at that in the background there as well. There's something going on there with VF. There's a couple of guys fighting it out back there. The Kraken Esports car is not holding back here. Dazza is throwing everything at Womble as we head through the middle sector, or sectors.
Yeah, we've got Womble on softs and Renegade on. Womble's on medium, Dazza's on softs. So
Womble's on mediums.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we've got a yellow flag as well. We've lost a guy with no skills. He's down the order. And up the inside goes Dazza Sterling on Womble. There he goes. The Kraken Esports car gets it up to P3 onto the podium with that unfortunate loss for the Black Rose entry. Down the order it will go. And Good Doc's off! Good Doc's off at Paddock Hill Bend!
Oh, yeah.
He's lost it. He's put one wheel in the dirt and been dragged off into the sand.
Yeah, he's managed to hold P6, so...
He'll have dirty tyres there as well, but he's done a good job to recover that there. This is a spicy race, man. There's so much going on. And Womble is in such a good spot.
I think you'll see Good Doc comes through the couple of guys in front. He's on softs. He's one of the last on softs in the field.
He was looking very strong in the early stages, so once those tyres clean themselves up, he'll be back on it and probably breathing down the neck of VF there, I think. Go on board with the Good Doc as we come through Hawthorns. That's one corner I can remember. Opposing Mercedes ahead. They'll squeeze through. The Hooncorp car looking a bit wriggly up there. Guys have settled down a little bit now, but the mid-pack is very, very tight. Revs Law has absolutely run away at the front. He's doing amazing so far. Soft's working very well for him.
Yeah, that's it. There's a fair bit of merit running mediums if you any chance of being in traffic for the first 8 or 9 laps, and then you've got if you're on a long stint it doesn't matter. If you're on a short stint you've then got 2 hits on softs to bring it home.
Yeah, we've got to move on to the straight here. VF's taken the position from Renegade, who's actually copped a half-second penalty somewhere as he fights back. At Paddock Hill Bend. There's a bit of contact. Both of these guys end up offline. Good Doc goes to the inside. He'll take 2 of them. Great opportunistic driving there from the Good Doc. Oh, fantastic move. Great work there from the Good Doc. And VF's going to go through as well. Malevolent One's off in the back.
Yeah,
and we've got another one. VF's off as well. There's a bit of contact. Oh, it's getting scrappy. Oh, VF nearly recovered. But he's ended up in the barrier. Oh, man. And drama after drama this race. These guys are fighting tooth and nail for this one. There's the good doc, followed closely by Renegade and Benny Rex, who's breathing down the neck of his sister teammate. Championship leader, will he go for a move? Not this time around. Now that we've got a bit of a lull in the proceedings, we're going to have a look at Petey Pops. Jump on board and have a look what happened to him in the early stages of the race. Here we go. This is on the approach to Druids on lap 1 up the inside of the CP Motorsports car. Holds the inside nicely. Then on exit picks up a little bit of dirt and just spears off to the right. So just driver error this time around, unfortunately for the doghouse driver.
Yeah, very, very easy to do on this track. You just got to be inches wide, and that grass will sandal bite.
Yeah, it does it at a couple of corners as well. Paddock Hill Bend's notorious for it, and clearly Druids has some problems with it as well. And we just saw VF.
And Sheen Curve.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere.
Speaking from experience.
Yep. Yeah, that sounded painful when you said it.
Yeah.
The good doc's P4 now. He's actually recovering quite a bit of time here, very impressively. Benny Rex has fought his way up to P5 after all that drama in the midfield. So he's looking alright as well, especially for a medium runner. So Womble, I think, in the best position so far. Is Dazza also on the mediums, or is he on the softs?
Where are we? Dazza is on softs.
Okay, so Womble's the leading medium runner.
Yep. And then Lucas back on softs, Spanier on mediums, Renegade on mediums, and you've got to go back to Guy with No Skills. He's the next soft runner.
Yep, and he was doing great until he had an incident where he ended up off track.
I can do a quick tyre and fuel. We're running at lap 5.
Might be a good time.
Yep. Revs, 3/4 fuel, or 75% fuel. Front left is a little bit warm, but the other's holding up really well. Dazza, a little bit more warm on the front, very similar on fuel. His left-hand side are a little bit worse. Womble with the mediums, as you expect, very little wear. Again, equal on fuel at that sort of 3/4 mark. Lucas, a little bit more wear on the right front, as you expect on softs, but best fuel. So he's got a bit of a strategy happening there. Benia, yeah, just a bit below 3/4 as we move through the lap, but he's on mediums and good wear.
How does he compare to Womble for tyre wear?
A little bit worse, but that might be because he's chasing, but chasing a few positions behind. His lap times are a bit quicker. He's sort of in the 31s now on the mediums. Renegade, really good on the mediums, and fuel right on the 3/4 mark. Guy with No Skills, racing softs, getting near half on the front left, but really good on the others, and sort of 70% fuel, 65% fuel. Deep Rev mediums, really good tyre wear. His fuel is probably second best at just under 3/4. Keza is a bit over 3/4, so Subaru Team Brocky fuel save happening. 11 at 1. Yeah, pretty much the same as most of the medium runners. VF, good fuel, 3/4. Really good tyre wear on mediums. Same with Lambinator. And Poppers on that little Alpha, best tyres of the lot, and on mediums, and just a touch under 3/4. So,
and not surprising to hear Petey Pops on the best tyres. That Alpha's a very, very lightweight car. It's unfortunate that he's been the butt of an incident at the start of the race for the 3rd time this season, to put pain to his race aspirations. But we'll see what he can recover with. There's always more incidents to happen as the race goes on, although there's a lot of compact driving at the start that can potentially cause problems. That is now all said and done. But we're looking now at Good Doc and P4, who's having a look at Womble here with the tyre advantage. Let's see what he can do into Hawthorns as they come down the back straight. There is a name for this back straight, but I've forgotten what it is. Looks like Womble's going defensive here. Good Doc's going to look to the outside at Hawthorns. This will be a fantastic move if he can pull it off. Round the outside he goes. Look at that. Fantastic driving from the Good Doc. What a move, son. Oh, we're going to have a look at that again
Yeah.
when we get time, but well done, Good Dog. Oh, give him a round of applause in the chat, guys. That's a fantastic move there. Round the outside at Hawthorns. I've only ever seen one driver do that ever before today, and that was Daniel Solis from the USA at a Gran Turismo World Tour event. And, you know, how high of a level of skill do you have to be to get there? That's fantastic. We'll jump on board with Womble and see it from his perspective, I think. Let's have a look here. There he is, Good Doc. Into the braking zone, around the outside. Absolutely no problems, easy as you like. Fantastic stuff from the veteran.
Yeah, and Womble's back under him for P3.
Yeah, he's got him back. We've missed that.
Yeah. Yep, through Druids. Or Graham Hill Bend.
Alright, will we see it again? Will Good Dog do it 2 laps in a row? Surely
He's got
not.
good corner exit speed there.
He might. He's looking to the inside this time. Womble's not making it easy for him. Forced to the outside again. He's not close enough this time. Benier now getting very close as well on the medium tyres. This is really, really making Good Doc's day worse. He's on the softer tyre, and he's getting held up by a medium runner. This is exactly what Womble needs to do. You know, they've both gone off. They've followed each other off, and Womble's into the fence. Oh no!
Good Doc's held it.
Good Doc's recovered on the grass, but
yeah.
Womble's gone around a disastrous way. Oh
He's about
no!
to be Sylvia'd.
He had a great start to the race. He now finds himself down in P8. Oh no, just too much
switch
pressure.
back from Renegade to get Lucas going through.
Go, these guys are still
Clark
all on.
curve.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy with no skills is going to try it as well.
Yeah.
Through he goes. Bit of hip and shoulder it looked like there. We couldn't quite see it on the broadcast. But
Yep.
through he goes.
He's also running on softs, and there's not a lot left on that left front.
No, I think he'll be coming to the end of his stint now. I think it was 10 or 11 laps these guys were usually looking at.
Yeah, you can get to 12, but anything beyond that's sketchy.
Yeah, up to P3. Qualified so far down the order, it looked like it would be near impossible to make the recovery this race, but he's putting his best foot forward, that's for sure. He's currently P3, the first of the medium runners who are on the grid at the moment.
And while he's 13 seconds back, if he's running a one-stop, his fuel is... He's on good fuel, he's equal with revs. So that one-stop, what's the transition time? About 15, 16 seconds?
Very short. I'm not sure of the exact figure, but it's certainly short enough.
Almost sensing essence of the plumber.
Oh man. Yep, recovery drives. BF, speaking of recovery drives, down in P8, he's recovered a few in that SLS. He's on the mediums too, so he's not in too bad of a position given how things have gone. Bit of a struggle on the early laps, unfortunately, but he's doing well for himself.
And a good fuel position, yeah.
He is, yeah. So we'll have a look from Good Doc's perspective at this incident, I think. Here we go. But on board with the Good Doc as they head up to the right-hander here. So this is where it all went wrong. So it looks like Womble's gone a little bit wide and Good Doc's followed him off. And there goes Womble. He's tried to get on the power with one tyre still in the grass. And Good Doc just manages to keep it pointed in the right direction. So a good recovery from Good Doc. He's P6 on the soft tyres though, so he's still in not the greatest position, being behind a couple of medium runners, but as far as his luck's gone so far this race, he's doing pretty well, I think.
Yeah, and holding his own with those the runs with the soft tyres, so...
Yeah, guy with no skills is right there.
Yeah. If he can have a really good second stint on his softs, on new softs, he'll change that around. His lap times apart from that one wide lap, he's certainly in the consistent 31s race pace.
Looking good. There we go. A
he's
switch back
straight
from
of
Good
fifth.
Doc through on guy with no skills who goes into the pits this time around.
Yes.
First to blink, lap 10, end of lap 10.
And there was not much left on that front left, so
No, he was looking rugged, and he had Good Doc breathing down his neck. I think he made the right decision. So it'll be interesting to see. So that puts a guy with no skills on a 2-stop, and I think Good Doc could still be on a 1-stop. So I wonder if he'll go from the mediums, from the softs to the mediums rather, from here. Cut out a pit stop.
yep. Oh, God knows skills has come out on mediums. I'm just looking at that car in the pits. Geez, the artwork, the livery designs in Sector 1 are just first class.
They are. The competition
yeah.
for that is as high as the divisions are, honestly. It's fantastic to see, you know, it's art in motion.
Yeah, see that Black Rose car up close, just, yeah, great.
It's fantastic.
Something about
And
a white
team
car.
as well. A new team as well. We actually, I was mixing up the Black Rose liveries with the ISA liveries last round, I think. So they had a little bit of a refresh on the ISA liveries. I don't think we've got any in Lobby, do we?
Yeah, one, Renegade.
Renegade's Hunkorp. Renegade's Hunkorp. So he is ISA, but he's a Hunkorp driver in Sector 1.
Yeah, just got ISA in the name, in the sign-on. Yeah.
Yeah, I was sure they did have another one in Div 4, but perhaps not. But yeah, Diabolus, who is unfortunately absent tonight, was not able to make it. But they did have a refresh, and I think we'll be seeing that in Division 2 when it comes up later. I think they got a couple of guys in there, including Crazy Good Kung Fu, a new guy to the season. You see a guy with no skills go very close there to the back of Petey Pops. Petey Pops is struggling for pace around here a little bit, I think, in that Alpha. Not quite being able to extract it.
His lap times they're a little. Yeah, there's a couple of slow ones in there, but he seems to be driving to numbers on a 1-stop. He's definitely not. He'll go past lap 12, so I expect to see him in around 18 or 19, and then on to softs.
Okay, so a 1-stop for the Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure, but I think the way he's being cautious and running to the numbers, that might be it.
We see the Black Rose car go through the Sylvia up the inside of the Alpha at what's that? Surtees. Aha! I knew that one. So through he goes into P11 for a guy with no skills to go chase down Womble in the Red Mist entry. The Brevin P9 still in the CP Motorsports car, not doing too bad for pace, and he's one of the medium runners as well. So he'll be looking to move on to the softs before long. Possibly in a few laps, or possibly very soon.
And Womble's gone to softs, and he took no fuel, so I'd say he's definitely 2-stopping.
He'll do a 2-stop, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, good. So big clear
Bit
gap
hard to keep up with this. I'm just looking at the rest.
Yeah.
DeBrev, I think, is on a 1-stop. Keza has gone on to softs, so that's a 2-stop for him, because he started on mediums. Lambinator, 1-stop. No warranties on what I'm saying, but I'm taking a guess.
Yeah. At a guess at this point, looking at where these guys are pitting and things like that.
Yeah, Benny is on softs, so yeah, he's definitely running 2 stops and going for the outright speed, and nearly just held it.
Good Doc again with an incident.
VF, yep, 1-stop. Really going well on those tyres and fuel.
A little bit late on the brakes and understeered off into the grass, but he's managed to keep it together.
Yep, Renegade's on mediums, so again looks like a 1-stop. Dazza has nothing left on that right left. Oh, sorry, front or left, the other right.
His right left tyres having problems.
Again, yeah.
Oh, wow, going for another.
Yeah.
So he's on the softs, isn't he?
Softs, he started on softs, so...
14 laps. Same with revs.
I think there's going to be alloy on the bitumen shortly, but...
Revs must be looking good because his pace is fantastic. He's run a 31.3 in the last lap, but he's 19.7 clear of his nearest rival and extending the gap considerably.
And he's still probably got 20% left on his left front, which is the one that causes all the grief on this track.
Yeah, that's Sylvia. It's a very strong car around here. No one really thought about it leading into the race except for the two teams that have it, but it's performed very well here.
Yeah,
Cool,
and
guys.
a very,
2 slots on the podium too.
and a very handy 20-second lead without a pit stop.
Yeah, he's got a pit stop in hand here, doesn't he? He could
Yeah.
jump in, bolt on a new fresh set of softs, and come out still ahead of Dazzle. So, yeah, he's killing it out there as Revs Lord. I'm surprised we haven't seen a performance like this from him earlier in the season. If he's got it in him, you know, he's absolutely killing it out there.
He's going around again on that. Oh no.
I'm not surprised.
Sorry, I was confused with Dazza. Yeah, Revs has gone around again. He's got tyre left. We'll see what Dazza does this lap.
With 20% left, I would recommend that he goes around again as well, because he's nearly halfway at this point. He will be halfway.
That was probably his slowest lap of the race, but it was only 0.5 off, and when you got 20 seconds, it's... Dazza's into the pits, into the wall.
Oh, Renegade's off in the last corner. He's gone around again, but he's gone into the dirt on the way round. Lost a bit of time there, but he may recover a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's going a one-stop. He's lap 14, he started on mediums, and he's got still a fair bit of fuel left.
Yeah, and these guys have had the input of 2 Division 1 drivers in their Discord as well, in the form of Lewis and GDR, a 3-time Sector 1 champion, to nail down their strategy for this round. And it looks like both of the Hooncorp cars are on a one-stop. And they're out the front at the moment. They've only got 1 stop to make, so in theory, it's their race to lose, essentially. This is looking great for them.
Unless I've missed something somewhere, Rebs is going to get to 16 laps on softs and fuel.
Yep, I would believe that, based on the 20% that you mentioned 2 laps prior.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's honestly, that's fantastic tyre care as he goes around. Here we go. Is he in? He's coming in this time around.
He's in.
So he's called it at 15. Oh, not the best entry into the pits there. We'll see what Renegade does. So he's got 16 laps to do on the mediums. It should be light work, given that the softs made it this far. 30-second buffer. No, he should be making it. I think the question when you're trying to pull the one-stop is less about the tyres and more about the fuel. Because you have to save quite a bit to make it to the halfway point. ISA Renegade goes around again, so he's going to do an extra lap before he puts on his mediums, and that might be the right decision as well. Rebs is out. He's still 7 seconds-ish clear of his teammate, who hasn't made a pit stop yet. He's looking good. Look how far ahead of VF they are as well. That's 16 seconds that he's got there.
Yep.
VF under threat from Benia there.
Yeah, a little bit of bumping on Brabham Straight.
Look at
and
that.
he's
down
in
the inside.
On softs.
Champion or leader.
Yep. And on his second stint on softs and light fuel, very light fuel. So he'll run to maybe 20, 21.
Started
and
on
then,
mediums, didn't it?
Yeah. No. Actually, he did. He started on mediums, so he'll probably go another few laps and then on the softs for the 1 home, and only a little top up on fuel.
Yeah, so he's boxed lap 11, so he's going to, he'll do 11 laps on the softs and then do his final stint on the mediums. Two stints on softs.
Softs. Yeah.
2 10 laps. Very good. We've got this figured out. So he's on softs all the way to the end, and it looks like the Hooncorp guys will be on the mediums from here on out once Renegade pits in. Actually, Renegade's on the mediums, isn't he?
He is at the moment, yeah. And he hasn't stopped yet.
So he'll put on the softs, so that explains why he's gone a little bit further than his teammate has. So he's going 17 now as he goes around again. He'll come in and put the softs on and go from there to the end, I think.
Yeah.
So
and Benny is only 14. He's only 14 seconds off the lead, but he is the only one running now. He's solidly moved into the 30s.
Yep, he's going to be on pace for the rest of this race, I think, is Benny. He's shown his pace already this season. We know what he can do. And now that he's on softs from here to the end, I think he's going to be in go mode. He's not going to mess around from here on
Hoppers
out.
is in. He's in the pits. and Malevolent
Leeds
one
entry
behind
follows
him.
him as well. The Brev comes around in the CP Motorsports car. So he's pitted already, hasn't he?
He has. He's got new softs on. Yeah, and he's doing a light fuel run, so he didn't take any fuel on that stop.
He started on the mediums as well, so he's soft to the end. Wow.
Yeah.
Guy with no skills, he's on his mediums, is he?
Yep, he's on mediums, and he's got just under half a tank. So.
Not to the end.
Yep. No. No, I think he'll stop again.
Yeah, he'll have
There's
to
not
stop
quite
at
enough
about
fuel there. Yeah.
4 or 5 laps to put some new
Yeah.
softs on. Go to the
Yeah.
end. Not looking too bad. Womble, after that unfortunate incident earlier, has fallen down to 7th. He was looking right on. He would have been challenging Bennier, I think, up in P3 there, had he kept it together with Good Doc breathing down his neck. Good Doc, who finds himself now in P5 in the Ferrari. So he's made his first pit stop as well, lap 11, I think it was. Is that right?
Yep. 11th, yep. And Womble, he had a moment a couple of laps ago where he lost 4 seconds, but he's consistently in the 31s. Debrev just passed Keza, who had a bit of an exit at Sheen. Yeah, it's this track. You just don't get long on the straights to really, when you're actually driving, trying to work out the strategy of the others, you don't have any long straights to think about it. And
No, it's full concentration 100% of time around here, isn't it?
Yeah.
They got their work cut out for them here. They had to plan this all out in advance, I think. You could not be leaving it to the last minute around here. The guy with no skills now behind Laminator in P9. Working his way back up, but he's got a long way to go yet. Although, to be fair, we're only just past the halfway point in this race.
Yeah, and just looking at Poppers, he's gone to softs and he's fueled to the end. So I reckon around about lap 21 we'll start to see where everyone slots back into the groove with lap times and positioning.
Right, so that's his first and only stop, isn't it? He's done.
Yep.
He's on the
Yep.
move now, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right.
And
we'll watch him.
I think the Merc, it was pretty much 19 laps you could push to, but that Alpha is really good on tyres and fuel. So
Yeah, it'll make it a bit further. VF pits from 4th now in the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mercs,
Womble's got some softs left, but he's on the fuel lights, so maybe there's one more lap in it.
that
Yeah,
round he
he's
goes for
gonna
one more.
Yeah, that's VF's in for his first stop.
So Womble's going to have to go around to.
He start on
finishes this
mediums.
one. He'll have to do 12
He'll run
laps on
softs again.
Yeah.
Softs, yeah. Yeah.
He's done quite a short stint this time around. He might have messed up his fuel numbers, possibly.
Oh, Lemonade is in the sand off. What is it? Paddock Hill?
Paddock Hill. First
Yeah.
corner. There he goes.
Yeah. T1.
Let's have a look at it on a replay. In we go. And to the right. Bit wide of the apex. Yeah, brakes in a straight line and off into the dirt. Good recovery though, no spin. So lost pretty much the least amount of time possible there. Good stuff.
Yeah, VF's onto softs, so that was his first pit stop and fueled to the end.
Right, P8 now as well, so he's not actually too far
Yeah.
down to go to the end from
No,
here.
no, Dazzo looks like he's fueled to the end and he's on his mediums.
So he should catch No Skills and Womble Dazza when they pit, assuming they're all
Yep.
due to pit one more time. I think Good Dog
I
will be
think-
safe from VF.
I think Dazza's pitted. I'm pretty sure he's pitted. He's got reasonably clean mediums and he's got 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Lucas will, Good Doc will need to come in. His mediums are quite fine, but he's down under the 3rd in fuel. So he'll go back onto softs and
Right, so 2 stops for the Good Doc, one more
Yep.
stint on softs to come, so not looking too bad.
yeah, Benny's he's probably got about 4 laps of fuel left, down to about 20% on his front left.
He's looking pretty strong though at the moment, so he's still got, what's he doing, one more lap and then he's in for his second set of softs, I think.
Yep, and then 10 laps home. Yep.
Interesting, he's not even caught up the Hooncoop guys here. They're home and dry right now. Apart from any other
Right,
no
yeah.
stoppers who are behind them, which is who's the next one? VF? He's the next no stopper.
That's right.
One
yep.
stopper, sorry.
Dazza, I think, and then
Gazza
BF.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think they can catch them, eh? They're a long way back here.
Yep. And it's interesting, but from memory, I think Revs and Renegade does have to stop. He's only got maybe 2 laps fuel left. Well, actually, I think this is it. He's got 1 full lap left. So he'll stop.
He's got to
Yeah.
go on to soft. Surely
Yeah.
he can make it 10 laps, 11 laps.
Yeah, so he's
Looks
doing
like he's
30.
going to go to 10.
Yeah, 32s on the 32 and a half on the medium, whereas softs he'd be 31s easy, especially on light fuel. Yeah.
He may fall back behind Good Doc here, actually.
He's only 11 ahead of Benia, 11 seconds. But Benia does have to come in, so
Yeah, most of these guys still have to make a
Yeah.
pit stop, including Renegade from here. But
yeah.
Revs Law looking great, looking on for the win. His first win in the Sector 1 Championship here at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, I just want him to get lap 23 because I hate mass.
Yeah. Oh man. It's a long race, but these guys are still focused up. We saw most of our incidents in the early stage of the race, but the race is quieting down a little bit now, so the focus coming in. A lot of these guys, they're not seeming to struggle too much, but as the laps come in, you know, and some of these guys make their final pit stop, we might see some breaks in the concentration here. Interested to see how that goes. Here's Renegade. We expect him to pit this lap with 10 to go. Off the mediums. You've got Benia chasing him down behind. Benia
Yeah,
should be
they're
in
both
this
on.
lap as well.
Both with less than half a lap fuel, so they've definitely got to come in. Yeah.
This might be a straight fight between these two. Soft versus soft. Fueled versus fueled. It's just going to be a battle of pace between the pair of them, I think. Let's have a look at Good Dog. Good Dog might be in
Identical
this lap
fuel.
as well, won't he? Oh, wow.
He's got another lap up. Oh, and he's coming in,
In he comes. There we go.
and he's on medium, so he'll go to soft. So it's
That's a will assume P2. Here we go. Here he goes. Towards Paddock Hill Bend. And P2. There's Renegade coming out of the pits now. He drops to P3. Benia on exit. Will be P4. A guy with no skills is going to take on Good Doc, as is VF. So they're both going to get the jump on the Blacklight Motorsports team owner. Out he comes. Ahead of Debrev. P7 for the Good Doc. And VF's on a one stop. So he'll be a bit slower. But Good Doc's got 5 seconds to find on him. And a guy with no skills as well. Is he due another pit stop?
yeah, he does not have the fuel to get home, and he's on mediums now, so he'll.
Oh, VF's
VF
gone off
behind.
at the...
Oh,
Oh, he's
held
gone
it.
off at Surtees.
He's just held it.
Oh, it was a beautiful looking drift, but not what you want when you're fighting for this
No.
podium.
The
Yeah,
joys of new tyres.
Put a wheel in the grass and went a bit sideways there, unfortunately. So that's giving Good
So-
Doc a bit more of a sniff.
I'll just do tyres and fuel. We've got Revs up front on mediums, half tank of fuel, so that should be enough to get home. It'll be close. Dazza on mediums, a little bit more warm. He's got probably 55, 58% of fuel. Renegade just under half a tank, but he's on racing softs, where the two guys in front are on mediums. And over these last 10 laps, there's about a second and a half a lap. There can be a second and a half a lap in the tyres. Benia, good brand new softs and a little bit over half a tank. Guy with no skills, he needs to come in, racing mediums, probably 2 laps of fuel left. VF just under half a tank on racing softs. Luke, Good Doc, racing softs, exactly the same fuel as VF in front. I think it'll be on like Donkey Kong there. Debrev, racing softs, he's only got 30% left on the front, and he's got maybe another this lap in fuel and he'll be in. Womble, half a tank, racing softs, he's good to go to the end. Malevolent One, racing softs, he's got plenty of fuel to the end, but he's 60% on that front left, so it'll be interesting. Keza, touch under half, softs, he'll be right. Laminator, almost identical, touch more fuel, and Poppers is on softs, a little bit over half, and he'll be good to the end. And I think he had one lap there where he was dropped about 7 seconds.
Yeah, he's got
So he must have had an off. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, have a look at the gaps up the front. Rev's Law is 31 seconds clear of Dazza in the Kraken Esports entry. That's massive. You know, that's all completely on merit as well. He's done a fantastic job out the front there.
Yeah, he's led from the front, and you know, he's definitely got the fuel and the tyre set to get home, and he's running mid to high 31s on those mediums, which is not a shabby time.
No, he's run his own race from start to finish here, although we're not finished yet, and it could all go pear-shaped at any moment, but we'll not try curse him too early. But yes, 31 seconds clear. Dazza's had a great race as well, very quiet, but currently P2 ahead of Renegade, who is on fresh softs and may pose a threat here actually. He's set his fastest lap of the race on the last lap, a 31.0. And probably going to try dip into the 30s this time around. And he's very close. Look at that. 4/10 blue on his best time. Yeah. This is going to get very interesting very quickly, I think.
I think Renegade will get him, although his fuel's starting to get tight, but he's on softs. And Benier behind him, better fuel and on softs as well. So, yeah, the battle for the positions P2, P3 not over.
Yeah, I think Benier has a chance to get himself on the podium if he can catch up to Dazza, but that's going to be the one that's going to be tough here. I think Renegade it's a case of when and not if he catches Dazza here. He's right on it. We're on board with him now. Looking at the gap, 1.2. It is coming down.
Yeah, he's about on that last lap. He was 7/10 quicker.
Looking good. 31.1 that time around. So he's lost a bit of time in that last couple of sectors, but he's still looking good. So heading to Druids. Onto the brakes. How far does the gap come down? Keep an eye on that delta in the top left corner. 1 second here. He's getting close. That tyre grip is substantially better than on the Supra in front, so he's probably going to get very close very soon. He's pushing pretty hard though, getting a bit sideways there through Graham Hill. Graham Hill curve? I don't know. Surtees now.
Surtees. End of Pilgrim's Drop. Apparently that's the name.
Yeah, no, it's this big drop off at the end of the hill there. Slipstream range now as well for ISA Renegade, so he's getting closer and closer as the lap goes on. The dirty air might become a thing now.
And Benny has picked up 4/10 on these guys in this first bit of the lap.
Yeah, it looks like Renegade's struggling with the visual distraction of a car in front of him because he did drop a bit of pace in this sector last lap. Possibly on a bit of a fuel save now as well. Sounds like he might be shifting a little bit early now that he's stuck behind Dazza, but the move will come very soon, I think. Here we go.
He's in a Supra sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dazza's in a Sylvia sandwich if you look at it from that angle. But yeah, it's a mix of makes up here, and it's a mirror image of Div 1 last week as well. We had the top 4 made up of Supras and Sylvias exclusively, so much the same. Here we go through Paddock Hill.
And while you talk about that, just looking at Rev's time, 31.3, 31.3, 31.5 on mediums, just managing that pace.
Look at that. That was beautiful sportsmanship on display right there, team. I don't know if you saw that, but a bit of a dive from Renegade going for a massive attack at Druids there, and then redressing on exit to allow Dazza to retake the position after there was a bit of contact on the way in. And Dazza's going to go wide at Surtees there, and through goes Renegade, capitalising on a mistake after he made a mistake himself at Druids only 2 corners before.
And Benny has gone from 3.2 behind to 0.76.
Yep, those guys lost a heap of time through those sequence of corners. A mistake from Renegade, which cost them both a bit of time, and then a wide moment there from Dazza as they headed through Surtees. Now Benier looking for his opportunity to get on the podium as well. It's a top 2 lockout for Hooncorp as it sits, but Benier's going to have something to say about it very shortly. We're right on board now. 2 eyes on Dazza in front. who's right on the rear of the Hooncorp car as well.
Yeah. And, and to be on mediums and holding his own against two relatively fresh sets of soft tyres, really good effort.
Yeah, Daz is doing very well here, and he's got to put everything on the line to hold on to this podium as well. He does have a bit of an opportunity here with the assistance of Renegade's Slipstream in front of him, but he's going to have to make the most of it, and it's only going to last so long as he bowls a huge wide at Druids there, but he recovers well. Just to keep the position pretty comfortably. He's got enough of a gap to Benia behind him. Benia looking to be struggling a little bit, and Renegade is getting away. So Benia might be losing sight of P2, but P3 is still on for him here. We'll head back to the good dock, and VF right behind him on the one stop. Looking good for P5 too.
Yeah.
That's very close here for P5 and 6. What can VF do? Well, has Good Doc caught VF and passed him recently? Did we miss that?
No, I think VF's... No, I don't think he has. I think VF's... Actually, no, Good Doc came out of the pits after VF, so he has done it.
He has got past, so we're looking at a said and done move here. So I think Good Doc's going to hold on to P5. Yep, the gap's opening out to 1.2 there. A great drive so far for the Good Doc on debut after a couple of incidents that cost him a lot of time to recover to P5. It's a fantastic job, and we've missed as well. Benia going through on Dazza Sturley as well. But up to P3 goes the Respawn Esports car behind the two Hooncorp cars. Dazza will be very disappointed in that, but he's still got a P4 to hold on to. Good Doc will see that position change and be thinking about the pace that he's got over the driver in front, and that gap is coming down. Got back a little bit and have a look at our remaining drivers. Womble in P7 with clear air either side. Looking pretty locked into that P7 at the moment, assuming his strategy comes to fruition towards the end of this race.
And considering he had a big off into the wall at Sheen, that's he's recovered well.
He's done well there. You know, he had a great start to the race, did Womble, all the way up to P3. He was the first running medium tyre driver. But an unfortunate incident set him back a little bit, but he's recovered well. Clearly got very good pace round here.
Yeah, and on for 9 and 10 too with Malevolent and Debrev. Debrev's well and truly in the low 31s and 0.196 between them, and he's on his fastest lap.
There we go, Debrev on the back of Malevolent, one for Deeds. CP versus Deeds. Corporate Giant versus Brewery. The 86 might not have an answer to the McLaren in a straight line here. To go to the inside of the outside, looks like Malevolent One's not going to defend this one. As Debrev up the inside in the CP car, through Hawthorns, gets the move done, makes it stick, no response from the Deeds car behind.
He's probably a bit fresher because he would have flown in by helicopter, so saved a couple of hours on the road.
Yeah, less of the jet lag. Oh, I struggled for that one a little bit there for a second, but we got there in the end.
Yeah.
But through goes Debrev into P9 onto the safer side of the top 10. Check in back up the front with our drivers. Benia X trying to hunt down Renegade.
He's under 2 seconds now.
He is gaining a bit of time, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's only got 2.5 laps to do it.
Laps, yep.
Rev's Law, 31 seconds clear. It's looking like a sure thing at the moment.
Yeah. You print those lap times out, you'd want them to show a display of consistency. Just solid 31s.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And on mediums. That's the difference.
Yeah, some of these guys are doing 31s on the softs. You know, it's very, very impressive pace here. That's we've said it a couple of times. We've had a couple of dominating performances from guys in recent weeks, and this is the put me in Div 3 please admin team performance.
Oh, not this season. I don't need any more stress. And looking at Rev's, he's got the fastest lap, 29.99 at race pace. Sensational.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic drive here so far, and only 1.5 laps to go. He can just cruise home from here. And the gap between second and third has stagnated. At about 2 seconds, these guys are equally matched for pace, and nothing that Benier throws at Renegade is sticking. Currently 2.2, 2.1.
Fuel's identical. Renegade's got the better tyres by far.
Oh, wow. Well, Benier's off there too.
Yeah.
Oh, pushing the car to the absolute limit. He did actually find a little bit of time there, but, you know, I think he's taken a bit of liberty there with the track limits.
Yeah, the turn in on any left is going to be sketchy.
Dazza in P4. So he was on a one-stop, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Done a
So
fantastic
he
job
started
there.
on softs. He's running home on the mediums.
So the first
Plenty
Supra,
of tyre, plenty of fuel. Yeah.
first Supra on the one-stop across the line will be Dazza as things stand. He's had a great drive. It flew under the radar a little bit and then popped up right at the end in P4, or P2 in fact, until he got overtaken by Renegade and Benier. To the surprise of many, Kraken Esports will be very proud of this performance, I think. And good dock as well in the black light Ferrari. What a way to come back to Sector 1. 2 major incidents and a huge recovery drive to P5. He's done a fantastic job, and he's cleared off from VF as well by 5 seconds. Another one of the one-stoppers in the Mercedes SLS AMG. Had a great qualifying session, an unfortunate start, and just didn't seem to have the pace to compete at the top with these guys over the end part of the race.
Yeah, and look, one thing I've seen about Sector 1 this season, the positions 4 to 7, to get in there, they are such valuable points. If you can, you know, especially with varying strategies, if you can lock those positions away, it's points in the bank. It's very solid.
This is going to be a Grand Slam win for Revs Law, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was pole, wasn't he?
Pole, yeah, but he's just, the way he's driven, that consistency is something that any of the S1 drivers would be proud of, that.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job.
Lap 22 to 31, well, actually, he's just done it in the last lap. I think he's buttoned off to a 32.7, but everything else was solid 31.
Onto the main straight for the final time. A Grand Slam victory, pole position, fastest lap. He's led every lap of the race, and he leads across the line for the final time. Revs Law takes his maiden win in Sector 1 Sim Racing Season 7. A lot of S's in that sentence. And he's followed closely, not so closely, but in P2, his teammate, Renegade, Humcorp lock out the front 2 positions on the grid here in Division 4 for the first time in Sector 1 history, in their team's history. The top 2 is Humcorp. Respawn will take P3 with Benny X. Oh, we've had a bit of a short ending to the race there. But we'll have to move that along. That's a bit of an error on our side, but that's all right.
Yeah. Yep.
Here we go. So, a bit of a quick end to that one, but it was a great race from
I'm not
the
sure what's
driver.
happened there.
That would have been the race end time would have been set to 30 seconds, which is the default.
Yeah, default.
Would have just ended.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Well, it's just a sign that Revs was leading by so much time that nobody else had a chance to finish the race. Oh, man. But what a race that was, wasn't it? How
if any consolation, we came in 12th and 13th positions, so that was good. It's better than most days.
Well, here we go. Here are your standings as it ended, assuming that there were no overtakes to be made to the line. I don't think there were. I think everything was fairly well said and done. Revs Law is the winner of Division 4, Round 3 here at Brands Hatch with a fantastic performance. The only driver in the 29s in the race. The only driver in the 29s between quali and race. Pole position, fastest lap, led every lap, and wins the race in emphatic fashion ahead of his teammate Renegade. But maximum points for Humcorp today because they get that extra fastest lap point, they get that extra pole position point. It's a huge haul for the Humcorp team tonight. Benier in P3 rounds out the podium for Respawn Esports, the sister team of Humcorp, so it's almost a top 3 to Humcorp here tonight. Dazza Sturley in P4 with a great one-stop, the first of the Supras trying the one-stop to cross the line in P4. Not cross the line, of course, because we had our error, but P4 nonetheless. Good dock with P5 on his return to Sector 1, showing great form, and I think he'll take away some massive positives from that race. And I think he'll definitely come with his teeth bared for round number 4. VF in P6 after a dramatic start to the race and a couple of incidents as well, but a good recovery to finish there in P6 in the SLS AMG, also on a one-stop. Womble, who had a fantastic start to the race, got himself all the way up to P3 from near enough to the outside of the top 10, and then was the butt of an unfortunate incident and has recovered to P7 on his 2-stop. So a great drive from him, up and down, I think, really. A guy with no skills in the Sylvia, another driver that was unfortunate in the early stages to go off and lose a whole lot of time, ends up in 8th position after recovering from early stages. Debrev in the CP Motorsports 650S, P9, ahead of Malevolent One in the 86 for Deeds Racing. Laminator for the Lightning Motorsport entry in P11. Keza Johnson for Brocky 05 Sim Racing in the Subaru in P12. And Petey Pops, unfortunately, in P13 for the 4C, with a strategy that didn't quite work out and just couldn't quite get it together for qualifying and the race.
Yeah, no, I think it's really well done by the guys. Not too many incidents in the race, and a lot of the front runners managed to keep it on the track. So very strong. Just apologies for the technical issues. I've actually got a frozen screen here showing most of the field still running. So I'm not sure.
That might be on account of the fact that they were still running when the timer ticked over, but that's all right. We're gonna throw this lobby in the bin anyway as we move over to Division 2. But before that, let us know your driver of the days. We've had a few nominations already, plenty for Rev's Law, and I think it's very hard to say no to that. But Good Doc is certainly also a contender for that. What do you think, Graham?
Yeah, I think. Hang on, just let me get back to. If the screen works, I thought, for me, it was a toss-up between... Actually, I thought Renegade drove a really solid race.
He did, yeah.
Yep, and there was a bit of banter in the chat around banned Sylvias, which a week ago it would have been banned Supras, but but no, it was really good. And Revs did drop a thing in there that he practices a lot, so I think we've hit him in form on his favourite track almost.
Yeah, he's done
and a very capable
well.
car. Yeah,
sure. And Renegade had a great performance at Daytona last round as well in the Nissan. I think he actually won on the one stop. He pulled off a unique strategy and surprised everyone, and did very well. So that's 2 wins in 2 rounds for HoonCorp there as well. So they're on a roll here in Division 4. But yeah, what a dominating performance from Rev's Law. And you know, the chat agrees. A lot of guys saying in there, you know, to be 30 seconds clear of your nearest rival or your teammate for that matter, is huge. You know, that's crazy stuff to think about. But get your driver of the day nominations in there. They will be tallied up after the stream is all over. For now, we are going to go to an intermission while we get set up for Division 2. But stick around for that. It's going to be very exciting. But thank you for your call as well, Graham. You did a fantastic job. And thank you for hosting the lobby tonight for us.
No worries. Thanks, guys. And we look forward to Div 2.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for more Sector 1 sim racing action here at Brands Hatch GP. Thank you for your patience as we head through the preparation process to get Division 2 underway. So Division 2 tonight, we'll have a quick look now at the standings as they sit. So there you have the Division 2 standings after round number 2. Stickers leads the way for Lightning Motorsport with 59 points. Clear by 12 over Old Wakey for Kraken Esports. And to Lunacy for Blacklight in the Ferrari with 45 there, I believe that is. Evil Evo 9 in the Doghouse Motorsport Alfa Romeo in P4. Cruising in P5 for Blacklight as well. So the second of the Ferraris in Division 2. DP Mario P6. Oz Patstar in P7 for Doghouse. So the second of the Alphas there. Also in the top 10. Dadson for Dadson Racing Team, his own team, in the Mercedes. So the second of the Mercedes that we're going to see tonight. The McLaren of Racefan for CP as well in P9. Salazar Black in his debut season currently sits P10 for ISA Esports. Karen Unleashed, team owner for Deeds Racing, P11. Crazy Good Kung Fu, another debutant for this season in P12. Smidmate or Skidmate as he was affectionately termed after round 1 in P13, and Lenosis in P14 for Obsession Motorsport. I'm joined in the box now by the weird and wonderful Carbonboy. Welcome along, mate. How you feeling?
I am feeling pretty darn good. How's about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm coming off the back of a great race in Division 4 there. Just about got my voice back after that one. It was so hectic at the start. Hoping for more of the same this time around.
Well, you better buckle up and brace yourself, because from what I've seen in the practice starts I've been running so far, you are in for another 45 minutes or so of absolute mayhem, and in a good way.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it. And we have a full roster tonight.
We do indeed. Everybody has made it. We have a full 14-car grid tonight.
Brands Hatch brings out the big guns. We love that.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever had a full 14-car field as race director, so...
It might be the first one of the season.
I think it's my first one ever, so to all the drivers who showed up tonight, thank you very much.
Very good, very good. All right, so we're just about ready to get Div 4 qualifying underway. Before we do that, I'll just have a chat with you guys about the track map that we've got up on screen at the moment. So if you're not familiar, we did talk about it earlier, but 9 turns here at Brands Hatch GP. I do not remember the corner names, which Ghost will kill me for, as many of you at Sector 1 will know. We're on to Division 2 now. 2 categories of tyre, soft and medium, and both mandatory. So we're looking at least 1 stop for these guys, and there is an argument for a second stop as well, which we saw in slot 1 there for Division 2. And I think we're all good to go for qualifying. So we'll have a look at that now.
We are indeed.
Alrighty, so we'll go through the field quickly while we're on our outlaps. And here we have Lenosis, who we saw at the bottom of the leaderboard for Division 2. So I think he missed out on the second round because he was showing... Or maybe he missed out on the first round.
First round.
Missed out on the first round. Yeah, because I know he showed good pace somewhere, so I was surprised to see him at the bottom. But the Obsession Motorsport Supra, looking good as always, out there out the front. Old Wakey for Kraken Esports, the second of the Kraken Esports entries tonight, as we saw before in Division 4. Lunacy for the Blacklight Motorsport team, led by Good Dog, who we saw have such a good performance in Race 1 tonight. So he's driving the Ammo Ferrari around here, and he'll be looking to get a good result, as good or better than his team owner. Evil Evo in the Alfa Romeo 4C for Doghouse Motorsport in the Alpha, which we saw not do too fantastically in the first race of the night for Div 4, but we'll see if he can make amends for that and outperform his teammate. Cruising in P5 there, also for Blacklight Motorsport. So the 2 teammates this time around, as his teammate heads into the pits to put on some fresh tyres. Patstar.
He appears to be swapping off the medium onto the softs.
Interesting that he's started on the mediums, but I guess that gives him a lap to burn some extra fuel off. But These guys are starting their first flying lap now, so they're on pace. They're all hot. Pat Star here for Doghouse, the second of the Alphas, so we'll see if they can work together, much like they did at Daytona in the last round in their beautiful-looking cars, the red and the green, fantastic look. Karen for Deeds, the team owner, in the Toyota 86 or Subaru BRZ, however you want to call it. I heard there were some...
Stickers. Stickers has had a bit of a moment after turn 2. He has found himself on the inside wall.
Oh wow, he's taken out a brake board as well. I wonder if that's tactical. I think seems like a bit of a who do we see do that in race 1? Petey Pops. He got a wheel full of dirt on the exit of
yes,
and speared off to the right there. So perhaps the same thing going on for Stickers here.
I did want to do a quick shout out to the Lunacy after his pit stop, coming out of the pits, showed great awareness of what was going on with the other cars coming around the track and just held himself up at the pit exit to let them go on by without obstructing. So well done, Lunacy.
We'll whittle through the last couple of drivers as they come to the line for the first time. Smidmate in the newly rebranded Red Mist entry there in the Supra, looking fantastic, just like Womble in race 1. Crazy Good Kung Fu for ISA Esports, and they're also rebranded car. Dadson for Dadson Racing with the yellow champion banner across the top of his car. Stickers in P11 after that incident earlier on. Salazar Black for ISA Esports as well, the second of the ISA cars. And Race Fan, there's trouble there. Missed a couple of guys, but DP Mario, I think, was one of the ones that we missed there. And he's driving for Black Rose Racing in the Silvia. So I think that's the only Silvia on the track right now. And it looks like the Silvia is the best car around here, based on what we've seen so far. So we'll see how that works out for him. But currently, Lenosis on provisional pole with a 29.170. He's staked his claim very early there, straight into the low 29s.
DP Mario is in the only Silvia on the track tonight.
Alright, that'll bear watching, because the Supras seem to have a little bit of a hard time saving the tyres like that Supra, like that Silvia rather. Here we go, let's have a look at Lenosis.
The Supras do like to consume their front tyres around this circuit.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy looking cars. Here we go, Lenosis is going to go for another one. Is he purple? Will he set a better time? Here we go. 28.073 faster. He drops to a 29.097. Old Wakey currently provisional P2. A couple of improvements down the board. Cruisin pops up into P3, but he's still half a second behind the leader. Skidmate.
Having been in a few practice sessions with the Lenosis, I can tell you he will not be 100% happy with that very fast time. He will not be happy that it is not a 128.
Oh, look at that as well. Skidmate living up to his name there on exit of Druids. Nice oversteer moment. He loves a bit of that. So we'll keep the camera on him as much as we can to see more of that. And that car, the new blue rebrand, the Wayfarer livery, I believe that is, looking fantastic. I'm so happy with this Red Mist rebrand and refresh of the liveries. Looks fantastic, and they've gone back to the old different colour per driver, much like the Doghouse system that they've got going on there. So yeah, looking good, looking real good.
And having sampled that particular beer myself, I can confirm it is quite tasty.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get my hands on any Green Beacon over here in New Zealand because unfortunately they don't ship overseas. But I would love to give them a try. They even have a New Zealand flavour, I believe. But yeah. No shipping to New Zealand for us.
Even direct from the website. That is poor. That is poor.
It's not great. It's not great. We shouldn't talk bad about them though as a Sector 1 team sponsor. Two drivers into the pits up the front. Cruisin and Skidmate down the bottom there as well in the pits to reset their tyres, get a new set on, and go out on freshies. Get some more.
As well as Old Wakey and Dadson.
Yes, Dadson down the bottom there as well in the Mercedes. Down at P10. Crazy Good Kung Fu. Did a bit of time. Got himself up to P9. DP Mario is now up to P6 in the Silvia. We're looking to push for that pole position, I think.
Two drivers to keep an eye on that I've been watching throughout the practice lobbies earlier this evening is the blacklight Ferraris of Lunacy and Cruisin'. While the Ferrari does suffer a little bit in terms of top end, that doesn't seem to affect these guys too badly. They can hold their own here.
Yeah, Lucas made it pretty clear in that first race as well that the Ferrari's competitive here. It's a good car,
Definitely.
and you know, with that top end issue, there's not a lot of top end areas on this track. It's a lot more about high speed cornering and handling. So I think these guys will be strong here. Lunacy was
Which is
purple
right
there.
up Ferrari's alley.
Exactly. They're made for it. He's 2/10 blue on his best time. That should be enough to pop him up into the podium spots here if he nails the last corner. Get him down to a 29.2. Let's have a look then. Evil Evo. That's a 0.65. Puts him up to P6.
CGK comes into the pits.
There we go. Lunacy up to P4. Just shy of Racefan in P3. Cruisin' does not improve.
Oof.
It's close. It's close margins here.
And the Lunacy is currently sitting 0.003 of a second in front of Stickers in the Supra. And he's just under 0.2 behind Lenosis in P1, so
Very close up the top. Stickers with an improvement there as well. He's gone 0.026 behind Lenosis. That's provisional P2 for the Lightning Motorsport team owner.
from P1 to P5 there is less than 0.2 of a second in it.
It's getting close, and I think it's only going to get
Whoa.
closer as well. These guys are getting it together now. They're putting their best foot forward here for the end of qualifying. They've got about 2 laps to go. Here's Old Wakey coming through to the final sector. He's down in his time. Then go around for the next one. 29.2 currently on the board. Lenosis coming round to set a flying lap time. Good Clark curve. What can he do? Will it be a 28? Yes, it will. It's a 28.851. The first driver in Division 2 to make it into the 28s. Lenosis clears his nearest rival by 0.27 of a second. And Stickers is going to have to come up with a
He's gone. Stickers
very
has
quick
gone
answer.
at Sheen.
He's lost it. He's looped it. He's facing the wrong way. He does have time to get back to the line and set another lap, though. So he has to turn around real quick. But it looks like he might have parked it up.
He's parked it. He's parked it. I think he's made the call there to just conserve what he's got. He's got a P2 at the moment.
Old Wakey's purple as he heads through Sector 2. He could be on for pole position here. He's got 3.37 of a second to make up on the pole position sitter at the moment, and he's a 10th purple as he heads into Hawthorns. He's on for pole position here. Is Old Wakey. It'll be his first pole position of the season here at Season 7. What can he do as he heads through the tricky section in the back part of the circuit? He's just got to keep it together.
A little bit slow through Westfield there.
Goes past Stickers. He's only a 10th blue now. What can he do in the last 2 corners?
He might just be able to pip Stickers for P2 here.
Comes around the final corner onto the main straight. Old Wakey challenging for pole position. It looks like he might not get it, but he'll try to jump Stickers for the front row. Here we go to the line. The checkered flag is out. He goes to P2 by 0.024, and that's on the front row for Kraken Esports. And Old Wakey gets himself up there. Lunacy down in P5 got within 0.01 of Racefan in front of him, but couldn't quite get there for the second row. And his teammate cruising down in P8. The Ferrari's not quite able to extract the raw pace here in qualifying.
Now, while the first 3 positions on the grid might be filled with Supras, you need to bear in mind that the McLaren and the Ferrari are absolute rocket ships in the line. Those Supras, they're in a lot of danger in the first 2 corners.
I think so. I think you're right. So Lenosis is probably a little bit more safe than the other 2, but Stickers is going to have to watch his mirrors, particularly with Racefan on the side of him. What'll be
Definitely.
interesting to see is who picks what tyre for the start of this race. We'll have a look now at our qualifying results. Here we have it. Lenosis on pole position with a 28.851. The only driver to make it into the 28s for Division 2 and Division 4 tonight, I suppose. We can count the other division with these guys as well. Old Wakey in P2 with a fantastic final lap with a 29.099. Clears stickers by less than half a tenth for the front row position. Stickers P3 there ahead of Race Fan, who takes that second spot on the second row in the CP Motorsport 650S. The Lunacy in the 458 is the first of the two Ferraris down in P5. Oz Patstar and Evil Evo in the two 4Cs right beside each other, one row behind the other, in P6 and 7. Cruising in P8, so he's separated from his teammate by the two Doghouse entries, so advantage Doghouse right now, I think, with that sort of positioning. DP Mario and the only Sylvia in the field down in P9. Dadson in P10 in the SLS AMG. Smidmate, or Skidmate as he's affectionately known, finds himself in P11 after getting a little bit too slidey in qualifying with a 29.855. Crazy Good Kung Fu in P12 for ISA Esports in the Cayman GT4 Club Sport. And Karen in the 86 for Deeds, P13. And Salazar Black, the other of the ISA race cars in the Cayman, finds himself in P14 to round out our grid. Any surprises for you there, Carbonboy? What do you think?
I'm quite excited by that qualifying, to be honest. That was not exactly how I was expecting it to go. I mean, Race Fan has completely blindsided me in that McLaren by putting it on P4.
He's done a good job there, and I'm very excited to see how this mid-pack battle goes, especially between Blacklight and Doghouse. The 2v2 there could get very, very spicy in the early stages. I do have concerns that Lenosis is just going to run away with this one. I think he's got the pace to do it. And, you know, he's put it on pole, so he's in just the right spot for it. And all he needs is one driver behind him to put on the mediums, and it's, you know, he could be clearing off. But Obsession Motorsport will be happy with that, I think.
As his teammate, I have no concerns about that whatsoever.
My only concern is from an entertainment perspective, you know. I'll be happy to see him win. I think he deserves it. He's clearly got excellent pace. 2 tenths clear of his nearest rival. You know, we're seeing it's reminiscent of Rev's Law in Division 4 there, beating out the nearest rival by so long.
But you and I both know that one lap pace versus race pace, they are two very different things.
Of course, anything can happen, and we saw moves being made at turn 1 in Division 4, and we might see more of the same again. I think you were saying there was some pretty rough test starts for these guys tonight. So hopefully it'll be clean but competitive through Paddock Hillbend first time around.
Alrighty, we are punching that big red button and we are going.
Ready to rock and roll. Div 2 coming up for you guys at home here at Sector 1 Sim Racing Season 7, Round 3, Division 2 at Brands Hatch. Very exciting stuff, and real keen to see what these guys can do for us tonight. So we'll go to the grid now. There's your grid lining up. We've got Lenosis on pole position ahead of Old Wakey, also on the front row. The lights are lit up. We have 5 on the board. And they're out and the drivers are off and racing. A bit of a poor start from the Supras up the front. The Alphas are away laughing there, looking down the middle. They can't quite get through here. Let's have a look at what they can do up the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact on the ammo car there. The 2 Alphas stay together. They're going to start fighting each other before long.
The Alphas and the Ferrari are getting straight into it. No mucking about.
No messing about. And there's a big incident off the back there. A couple of drivers are off. We'll have a look at a replay very shortly. But the upshot of the start there is that Lunacy in the Ferrari has jumped Race Fan to get himself up to P4 there. So a great start for the Blacklight Motorsport driver. The other one, on the other hand, has dropped back a long way there. I think I saw cruising down outside the top 10 there. Yep, P12 on the timing tower there.
I was riding on board Patstar and the Doghouse Alpha, and with how wide he ran coming out of turn 2, I was getting deja vu of Petey Pops in the Div 4 race.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've got Skidmate out the back there. I've just seen him getting a little bit sideways on the exit of Hawthorns, living up to his name once again, getting it as sideways as possible. We'll have a look back up the front. The two front drivers have skipped away, 1.5 seconds clear of stickers in P3. I would imagine that's because of tyre selection. The top two might be on softs while the others are on mediums. I would guess that's the case, but we'll have to check in on that a little bit later. For now, Lunacy on the back of stickers.
Yeah,
Putting a bit of
don't want to
pressure
give
on.
the game away too early. Come on.
Of course not. But it does look like it right now. If I had to guess, that would be my guess. Softs up the front and stickers on mediums. But we'll see as these guys go on. Race fans still in it as well.
You're right about one of those things.
Alrighty. Have a look back at Dadson here. He's right in the middle of the pack. And a doghouse sandwich here, the Division 3 champion from last season. Up to P8 though. I think he was P10 in the qualifying standings, so that's a net improvement. Those Alphas struggling a little bit. And down the inside goes Salazar Black. Not quite able to make it stick. Looked like a bit of a slam of the door there from Pat Star on the way into Hawthorns. We're going to have a look now at the replay of the opening couple of corners from the perspective of Salazar Black. Here we go. Down the inside, the two teammates side by side. What happened here? Why did people end up off the track? There we go. Skidmate out the side, the Alpha out the side, just muscled off, and the ammo car of Cruising there off as well. Oh, we've just missed an incident there as well. Big sideways moment for Salazar Black and the Alpha of Patstar there as well through Paddock Hill Bend. Both of them got very sideways. And look at the lap time as well. Lenosis is already laid down at 29.0. He's not waiting around for nobody, this guy. Obsession Motorsport. You've made a great signing with this guy. Look at this. 1.6 clear of Old Wakey. A veteran of this series.
All credit can be directed towards Mr. Pruski for that one.
Oh yeah.
I've just watched DP Mario go through the inside around. Okay, I'm not allowed to refer to it as turn 2. Fine. I will refer to it as Druids.
There's Druids, yeah.
Anyway, turn 2. DP Mario decided to basically chuck it up the inside of Race Fan. Now, a bit more of a forceful maneuver than I would prefer, but given that he has the tyre advantage, I don't blame him. Now, there's all the hit.
Well, let's have a look here. We've got a replay that we're on board with DP Mario for. Behind Race Fan, the CP Motorsports car on the way up to Druids. Here we go. Let's have a look. He got a great run out of Paddock Hill. Goes to the inside and a bit of a close of the door from the CP car, but very deep there from DP Mario. I think the move was on, but mistakes from both sides. But we'll let the stewards sort that out. For now, we're looking at DP Mario and P5 ahead of Race Fan after that robust move into Druids, which may be investigated later by the stewards. I'm sure I heard a ominous clicking of the pens there in the background.
Well, it is a CP car. Guaranteed there's pens clicking.
Do they have the stewards on a payroll, do they? I hope not. We don't want corruption in Sector 1.
No comment. I like my job. No comment. No comment.
Oh, Old Wakey's fallen back a little bit from Lenosis here, and Stickers is closing in on him here. 1.2 seconds the gap now, so the three Supras still leading out the front. Lunacy, the first alternative manufacturer in the Ferrari. Looking good though. Pace is on. And DP Mario as well. I think he might be on the softs because he's being very aggressive with his moves. He'll be looking to make an ascension through the field here. at this point.
Okay, so a slight fun fact. We've got a 14-car field tonight, which is fantastic. It's a full grid. Here's a fun fact for you all at home. 8 of the 14 drivers are currently on the medium tyre.
That's not a huge surprise. We saw more of the same in Division 4. I think there was roughly the same ratio. Or not quite the same ratio, actually. I'm thinking of a different number. But 4 drivers on the softs in Division 4, if I remember correctly. And if my maths is right, we're looking at 6 on the softs in here.
Correct.
If we've got
Correct.
8 on the mediums. Don't crucify me in chat. I know I'm not supposed to do maths when I'm commentating, but I will anyway. Big brain.
Yeah, your math checks out. Just like Lenosis up in P1, he has checked out to the tune of 2.8 seconds.
He's good. He's nearly 3 seconds clear now. He's on fire here at Brands Hatch, but he's pushing very hard, and I hope he can keep it up for another 25, 26 laps, because it's a long race here, so we'll see what he does. He's purple again, so he is, yeah, he's not waiting about for nobody.
Well, I can't say I blame him. If I had old Wakey and Stickers chasing me down, I'd be wanting to get the heck out of Dodge as well. I would not want to hang around and say hello and sign autographs. It would just be, I want to nick off and get out of here and be by myself.
So we're on board with DP Mario now, in pursuit of Lunacy ahead. It's possible that Lunacy's on the medium tyres and Mario's on the softs, because there is a fairly large pace differential here. It looks like DP Mario's closing up very quickly.
Cough, you are correct.
Nice.
Cough.
Good work, Atom. Good guesswork. Very nice. So just within a second now for DP Mario and that Sylvia. So we saw how good the Sylvia can be in the first race tonight. And I think we'll see more of the same here. And DP Mario is putting in a good show for it at the moment. Through Surtees he goes. He's not quite bringing the gap down probably quite as much as he'd like here. Just within slipstream range now. If you're not familiar with the mechanics of Gran Turismo 7, it is 1 second on the Delta. That is the threshold for slipstream. Out to 1.5 seconds, you still do get the benefit of a tow, but it's not particularly strong. So it's not really worth mentioning at all. Within a second, then you're all good.
My apologies for the viewers at home who may have heard me having a mini aneurysm right there. I was riding aboard my teammate Lenosis, and he got a little bit wide at Westfield / Dingle and nearly gave me a brain aneurysm.
He's lost a few tenths there. Yeah, he's 7 tenths down that lap, so he has lost a bit of time. I'm just gonna get on with my tyre and fuel update. Look, take your camera off your teammate as quick as possible, because the commentator's curse is a thing, as we know.
Rightio, so the rest of the tyres, the only tyre that matters on the cars on this track is the front left. So Lenosis, currently in P1, is sitting at about 55% wear, 55% worn on the front left, and he is about, give or take, 65-70% fuel left in the tank. Old Wakey has about 50% wear on that front left and is pretty much identical for fuel. Stickers, again, identical for fuel, about 55% wear, and he is making inroads on the back of Old Wakey, so...
Yeah, this fight could be on very soon, much like the Lunacy and DP Mario behind.
So I better get on with it before the action starts kicking off. The Lunacy, who has about 40% wear on that front left, being the Ferrari, looks after his front tyres quite well. He's suffering for fuel. He's probably at about 60% left in the tank. DP Mario, about 55% wear on that front left, near on identical to Lunacy for fuel. Race van in the McLaren is looking fantastic for tyres. He is on the mediums. He has about 15% wear on the front left, about 65% left, 65% fuel left in the tank. Evil Evo in the Alpha, also on the mediums, is, well, bloody hell, you can barely tell that those tyres are worn at all. Like, there is literally 5%
Oh.
wear on that front left.
I've just seen in the background there one of the ISA cars go for a bit of a spin at Paddock Hill Bend. We'll catch that on a replay now.
Oh, is that
Salazar Black.
CGK versus Dadson?
No, that's Salazar Black. He's just gone off all on his own at Paddock Hill Bend there, unfortunately. Slight error on the way in.
Because I've got an absolute cracking battle here with Dadson, who, mind you, while I'm doing my fuel and tyre update, is probably sitting on about 65% fuel, maybe about 30% wear on that front left.
I'm going to interrupt you for a moment here. We've got a very, very close battle here between DP Mario and Lunacy for P4. DP Mario's finally got within attacking range, and it looks like it's a matter of when and not if for these guys at the moment. He's all over the back of Lunacy through that middle sector. I think Paddock Hill Bend or Druids is going to be where it happens, assuming he's got the tyre wheel left. So we're on board now with DP Mario as he's chasing down Lunacy in the Ferrari. Let's see what Lunacy's got in terms of defensive skills in his locker. Mario's an old hand at this. He knows how to drive here. He's got a lot of experience in the World Series online. Looks to the inside. Just showing the nose at the moment. Not going for a massive dive. Trying to put the pressure on Lunacy here. But he's very close and he needs to get past because, as we know, he is on the faster tyre and cannot afford to be stuck behind someone on a slower compound. Into Surtees we go. A wide there for Lunacy. He's bowled a huge wide at Surtees, but the exit for DP Mario is not going to be good enough here, and it looks like the Ferrari's got the legs in a straight line. The slipstream's coming into effect, but it's not doing a lot for him. Through Hawthorns we go. And it looks like Lunacy's pulling away now.
Just an update from back down in the grid. CGK has managed to make his way past Dadson. They've had an absolute cracker of a battle, very clean, very fair, and CGK managed to make his way past Dadson at Graham Hill.
Yeah. Couldn't quite get it on a replay, but that's all right. Up to P8. That's brilliant stuff.
Looking back up the front, Stickers has managed to get himself within 6/10 of Old Wakey.
It's too many battles on track right now. It's too much for us. We've got Stickers versus Wakey. We've got Lunacy versus Mario. We had Crazy Good Kung Fu versus Dadson. And I think we've got more going on at the back too.
I'm just looking at the tyre wear on Old Wakey and Stickers, and those front left tyres, they are not happy. Right
I'm
now.
looking at the World Championship battle between Pat Star and Cruisin down in P11 and 12. They're going at it hammer and tong here. Will Cruisin go to the inside? He's going to look to the inside at Druids. There's a bit of contact there. I think that's forced the Alpha wide. Cruisin's going to redress there and allow the Doghouse car to retake position. We've lost Smidmate.
Gone.
We've lost
Skidmate's
Smidmate.
Gone.
Oh, man. The Red Mist car is out of the race, and that's not even halfway through the race, so it's going to be a 0-point score for them no matter which way you look at it. Very unfortunate.
Not great.
To be clear, we don't know if that's a rage quit or if it's a disconnection or anything like that. That will be investigated by the stewards later, but for now, he's out of the race. Our leaders are in.
Lenosis is in the pits.
Into lap 10. Interesting. Wakey goes around again. Mario goes around again on the softs.
Lenosis has put on the medium tyre. Comes out in P4. 4 seconds clear of Stickers in P5. And 1.2 seconds behind the Lunacy in P3.
He's pretty safe where he is. He's coming out in a very good spot here. With 4 seconds of space to the driver behind. And he's not going to catch up to Lunacy particularly quickly because of tyres. He's on the mediums now, so he's not on a huge advantage.
He's in a higher division than me, so I'm never going to argue with him on strategy. However, I think he's done I think he's made the correct choice here.
So 10 soft, and now onto the mediums. That is interesting, because that's going to force him to do his second stop fairly early.
But on the same token, he's put himself out onto the medium tyres into relatively clean air. He's
Right
behind
on the
the
back of
lunacy at the
now.
moment.
He's going to have a problem soon. He is catching him.
Oh, he's going to have much better tyres than the lunacy because his front left is down to...
There's the dirty air
he's
being
in the
wide
pits
on the
now.
apex. There we go. So through he goes. All right, so that's worked out in his favour. DP Mario's in as well, so he's clear. He's through. He's good. That's worked out for him. What's interesting is that this is the same strategy that Lenosh just pulled at Daytona. He went to mediums on the middle stint there as well. Very interesting.
Admittedly, that's the same strategy that I pulled, so I'm going to go with a no comment on that one. And basically, stop with the bias. Stop with the bias towards Obsession teammates.
We're looking at the defensive move from Lunacy there into Druids. Defending from Race Fan behind, who got a little bit of hip and shoulder from DP Mario earlier on, so he might be acting a little bit more aggressive than normal here with the red mist descending on his visor. We've lost Salazar as well. That's 2 drivers down. And again, might be a disconnect, might be a rage quit, we're not sure. The stewards will investigate that for us later on. But that's 0 points for 2 drivers, and we are down to 12.
Well, it was nice to start the race with a forward.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? It's one of those things, and it might just be GT during GT things. We'll look now at Dadson in P6 here. He's got a train of cars behind him, but plenty of pressure on the team owner. So you look back there from the roof camera. You got Mario, Lunacy, and Race Fan not far behind. Crazy Good Kung Fu into the pits for ISA Esports.
I am just watching our front at the moment with old Wakey. I've got a hunch that he's going to be pulling the one stop because he's currently on lap 13 in the Supra. That front left is completely bald. It is gone. It is cooked. It is cactus. There is no tread left whatsoever. Now, this is very reminiscent of a certain Mr. Bumcrack.
Yeah, he's running a very... And Dazza in the last race as well, in Division 4, he also ran a one-stop. So, Old Wakey's on the softs now, is that correct?
That is correct.
So he's going to have the mediums to run from.
He will. And he's currently losing time hand over fist to Lenosis, who is on a much fresher set of medium tyres.
That's understandable. That makes sense. Or we've got it going on for Dadson down here. We've missed DP Mario going through on him for Black Rose, and we've got a charging to Lunacy all over his rear bumper. In comes Old Wakey up the front there. Lunacy struggling to get by. It's a defensive masterclass from Dadson here. We might have a new wide hips on our hands. Into the final corner we go.
He is doing well with that defensive driving. There is nothing dirty about it whatsoever.
That's textbook, isn't it?
He is putting the car in the perfect spot and saying, mate, if you want to go around, you are doing it the hard way.
Oh, he's got to defend from 2 here. He goes to the inside. The CP Motorsports car is going to push the... Oh, wow. Look at this. They've got a pit exit car. Oh, Wakey's off. He's been turned around. He's turned across Dadson's front end. Not much that Dadson could have done there by the looks. Oh, man.
Oh, that went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Oh, man. And Dadson fell behind the 2 drivers he was trying to race. Old Wakey, the master of chaos, came out of the pits at just the wrong time for these guys.
He's picked up a fair bit of damage as well. Front aero, both front wheels.
We're going to have a look from the viewpoint of the CP car. Out came the Kraken Esports car. who turned across Dadson. Not much that Dadson could have done there by the looks. And around the outside goes the Blacklight Motorsport car. Wow. Wow, what an exciting couple of seconds that was. 4 cars, nearly 3 wide. Absolutely crazy. But Dadson finds himself now in P7. Not doing too bad. And the threat of Old Wakey has reduced a little bit, but was the doghouse car of Patstar goes wide there, and Wakey nearly follows him off.
Another little battle to keep an eye on would be P5 and P6 with the Lunacy and Race Fan. They're currently 7/10 behind each other, or 7/10 apart. Both of them are on the racing soft tyre. Both of them are under half a tank of fuel, so they appear to be on the 2-stop and basically full attack mode right now.
Yeah, and they've been together for a little while as well, because they were both trying to get past Dadson at the same time. So I think Race Fan's going to try have something to say about Lunacy here. He is within slipstream range, so he could definitely offer an aggression at some point. DP Mario as well, doing well at the moment, just ahead of these guys in the Black Rose Sylvia. Again, the only Sylvia on track at the moment, and the argument from many has been that the Sylvia is the best car around this track at this particular race. Doing well so far, although I think he's been running softs for the entire race so far.
So far, yes, he's been running on the softs. A little surprise for me is Evil Evo currently sitting in P3. Now, he's still on the mediums, and from what I can tell, he has not yet pitted. But he is 5 seconds clear of P4, so if DP Mario in P4 is running a 2-stop, and Evil Evo is running the single stop.
Has Mario
My
pitted
maths
already?
is terrible at the... He has indeed.
And he's now on
My
the
maths
mediums?
is terrible at the bit. No, he's on the softs again, so he.
Alright,
will
so
be
Mario's on
needing to
a
run the
2-stop.
mediums.
Yep. He's got to stop again. So Evil Evo is in track position now. He's got his one pit
Correct.
stop left to make, and Mario also has a pit stop left to make. And I think Lunacy does as well. I think he's on a 2-stop too.
Lunacy is also running the softs at this point in time.
And he's pulling away from Race Fan a little bit. TP McLaren. Dadson's fallen away from these guys a little bit as well.
To be fair, Dadson is on the medium tyres, where Lunacy, Race Fan, and Mario are on the racing softs.
Yeah, that makes sense. And he put up a noble defense against those guys for as long as he possibly could, but unfortunately it was he was overwhelmed by the sheer amount of drivers around him. And
He did a fantastic job.
I would not
Full credit
begrudge
to
him
you,
that.
Dadson.
Yep, 3 drivers attacking him all at once, 1 in front, 2 behind. Yeah.
And we've got Evil Evo in the pits at the moment, just chucking some fuel in that Alpha. I'm assuming he's going to be coming off the medium tyres onto the softs. Yes, he does. And he pops out into P8.
Head of Old Wakey, interestingly.
Oh, just in front of Old Wakey, who's going to go down the inside of Druids and say, "Thank you very much, I'll have that.
There we go.
I've got warm tyres, you do not." Although, Old Wakey is on the mediums, so give it a
Might
lap
get
or
fought
so.
back, yeah, he might be in the
And
same
Evil
position
Evo.
as Dadson before long.
Evil Evo might have a little something to say about that.
Let's have a look. Let's see what happens at Hawthorns between these two guys, because Evil Evo, you can guarantee, would normally, at any other time, have a better apex speed than Old Wakey. But with better tyres here, might just fly through. Can't quite do it though. Looks like he's just getting a bit used to the new tyres as they've just been put on at the pit stop. That Supra's very quick. Got a lot of pace on straight and in the corners. It's hard to find a weakness with that car.
I think the Supra's weakness is its fondness for consuming front tyres.
Yeah, definitely the tyre wear. It's a bit of a struggle with that one. I don't think it's too great on its fuel either. We haven't really seen much of that in regards of other cars being better, but I don't think it's particularly outstanding.
Oh, just from my own personal experience, fuel consumption, no, it's not the most efficient car in the world. But I guess the benefits of being slightly slower than your competition is that you don't burn fuel or chew tires as fast as them. Like, to put it into comparison, someone like Captain Muffin and myself, who is Division 1 and Division 3 respectively, we had a race in another league this morning where in the exact same car, the exact same track, on the exact same tyres, I was able to go 20 minutes longer on the same set of tyres than he was.
We got a World Championship battle going on for P7 and 6 here between Dadson and Crazy Good Kung Fu. He's doing pretty well, actually, as CGK. I think this might be so far his best performance of the season. He's right on the back of Dadson. I presume he's on the soft tyre here. He's looking very quick in that newly refreshed
That is
livery.
a negative.
No,
actually.
he's on the mediums.
CGK is on the mediums, but he's on a much fresher set of tyres than Dadson. So
Is he good to the end?
Dadson, absolutely not.
What about
CGK, he's got a quarter of a tank of fuel with 12 laps to go, so
He's
I
going to go back
hardly
onto the
doubt it.
softs. Righto.
So I think CGK needs to be a little bit smart here. He needs to either play it safe and sit behind Dadson, or take the obvious overtake. If there is a very blatant you need to overtake now moment, take it. But unless that is, just let Dadson go into the pits.
And this is more of the same from Dadson as well. He's defending much like he was before. It's textbook stuff, defend the inside. Crazy Good Kung Fu can now see it, and he knows, I think, that he needs to get past here. He knows that Dadson understands that he's not as fast as CGK at the moment. Stickers is in, up the front, in off the mediums. He'll go on to the softs for 12 laps.
I think
What
we'll
can
see
CGK do?
Dadson into the pits on this lap. He's got the fuel light on. Like he's hugging the inside. He's in. Yep, he's into the pits.
So he's going to get an undercut on CGK there as well. Assuming there's a fuel differential, he might actually pop out in front of CGK once again. There's Stickers just in front of CGK as well. So that's his final stop, his second of 2. So let's have a look at our strategy at the moment. We're looking at Lenosis on lap 20. He's got one stop to make, doesn't he?
He does. He will. I would almost put money on him coming into the pits at the end of this lap because, well, he's got the fuel light on.
Right. So
and
a 2 stop
also
for
there's
Lenosis.
11. Yes.
All right. And DP Mario, he's gone soft to soft, hasn't he? So he's still got to run the mediums.
Yep,
he'll be
and
in this
he's
one next.
probably on about 15% fuel, so there's no way he's making the end of the race on fuel.
All right. Lunacy, he is 1 stopping? No, he's a 2 stopping.
I would want to hope he's 2 stopping because he's got about 5% left on his front left with those racing softs, and about maybe 7% fuel left in the tank. So Lunacy, if you're not pitting this lap, which you're not, I would highly recommend pitting in the next lap or so.
Race Van's in for his second stop. Stickers has
There we
made his
go.
second stop, so he's now clear. He'll have a look now to see where he comes out in relation to Race Fan. I think he'll be ahead. CGK goes in for his final stop. Old Wakey, who's on the 1-stop strategy, I believe, is coming through now ahead of Evil Evo. Let's have a look. See if anyone comes out of the pits in front of him. Nope. It's all clear. There is
Yep.
Race Fan
Old-
out of the pits.
Old Wakey is, from what I can tell, he's good to the end. He's on the medium tyres. He's got about 10 to 12% wear on the front left. He's got about 60% fuel left in the tank with 10 laps to go. So if he can manage that fuel usage, he's golden for the end of the race.
He's looking good. P5 is an excellent recovery after that earlier incident. But Evil Evo 9 is not going to take this lying down. He's all over the back of him. Look at this.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the racing softs on. He's got slightly more fuel than Old Wakey. He's probably got, let's say, 65%, give or take. He's going to give it the berries. And to get a P5, he will not hold back. I mean, I know Evil
He's
Evo,
trying
he's not a
everything
dirty...
now.
He's not a dirty driver by any means. He's going to throw everything and the kitchen sink.
And it's looking
get this
tight now as
position.
well. There we go. Our top 3 are in for their final stops. Venosis is fueled up onto his softs. I think he's got this one sewn up, more or less. Let's have a look from Sticker's point of view. He's clear.
8 seconds behind.
DP Mario's
that's
out.
not bad.
Lunacy is going to fall behind Evil Evo. Look at that.
Oof.
Evil Evo's cleared Lunacy, and he's got a chance at Old Wakey here as well. So he's now on for P4 here. Lunacy on softs, though, I think. Look at this is all on. Evil Evo's waiting for a mistake from Old Wakey, though. This Alpha doesn't seem to have the straight line speed to make a pass.
Alright, so just to keep you viewers at home interested, P1 on the softs, P2 on the softs, P3 racing mediums, P4 racing mediums, slightly worn, P5 racing softs, P6 racing softs, P7 racing softs, and yeah, racing softs for the rest of the grid.
Right, but the top 7 is what we're worried about, really, because it's a big gap back to CGK. Old Wakey's lost out. He's lost out.
Oh,
Through
no.
goes Evil Evo. We've missed it just about, but we'll get it on a replay. And it looks like Race Fan's chasing them down as well. So that's 2 in 2 corners that Old Wakey's lost there. He'll be kicking himself for that incident earlier. But Evil Evo takes on P4 ahead of Lunacy, who's charging in on the softs. He's got fresher softs as well. And I think Race Fan's going to try to get into this conversation as well in that McLaren. There we go. Look at that. The Ferrari around the outside of Druids. And Lunacy into P4. Great move there from Lunacy. Old Wakey's still in this fight as well. He's not going to take this lying down. He'll fight it all the way to the end, you can guarantee.
This 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th battle, oh,
Yeah, it's getting on.
you can throw a blanket over them.
We're going to jump on board with Race Fan now because this move looks like it's on the verge of happening. He's right on the back of Old Wakey here as they come through these final sequence of corners, and Old Wakey's wide onto the grass. Oh, can't make up his mind on which way to go, and there's contact on the way into the second to last corner. I don't know the name of that one, but
In all fairness, Old Wakey did run a bit wide at Sheen there and was having just a bit of a touch of a moment coming
there we
into
go.
Sterling.
This is it as well. The CP Motorsports car is going to go through on the dirty tired Kraken Esports car. An unfortunate error for Old Wakey, a crack in the armour, and it was all that Race Fan needed to pounce. And through he goes. DP Mario's under threat now as well. Look at this. DP Mario's got Lunacy chasing him down. He's made a mistake at some point. Don't know when.
Remember, we've got DP Mario in the Silvia, which admittedly may or may not be a very quick car around this track. He's on the mediums. But you've got Lunacy in the Ferrari, who's on the racing softs, who is just going to be absolutely giving it the beans. He wants this podium. You can tell.
He's got so much time to get it as well. I think it's a matter of when and not if. Right at this point.
Oh, as he picks up a half-second penalty, which he's about to serve. He's been a bit of a naughty boy.
Lunacy P4 picks up a track limit. And he'll serve that now at the gates.
That's all
Not
right.
enough to drop him within range of Evil Evo, but it's enough to give DP Mario a bit of breathing room. Race fans in this now as well.
Breathing room for how long, though, is the question.
Let's have a look here at this move. This is where Evil Evo got past the Kraken Esports car. Up the inside at Sheen. A bit of contact on the way through, but neither car left the track.
The CP Motorsports McLaren of Racefan appears to be on a little bit of a charge. He is making some inroads on Evil Evo in the Doghouse Motorsports Alpha.
He is. Evil Evo's got eyes on one person though, and that's the driver in front of him, Lunacy, who's struggling to get by DP Mario here.
He may need to put one eye on his rear vision mirror because he's got Racefan coming in hot.
Racefan's going to have to be careful about how he plays this, because he could go for the move on the Doghouse car, but it might set him up for failure, and the Doghouse car is gone, and it's taken the CP Motorsports car with it almost off the track. Oh, disaster for Evil Evo. And the Doghouse Motorsport Alpha goes a little bit wide, picks up some grass, and spins it around, putting him out of the race behind old Wakey. He's down in P7, and it's going to be so hard to recover that. The upshot is race fans had a spot cleared in front of him, and now he can go in chase of Lunacy, who's still unable to get past DP Mario. Here's the run. Up the inside at Druids. Down goes the black light car to the inside. He's gone a little bit too deep though. A cutback for DP Mario is on. He gets on the power nice and early and lays it back down. Locks back in P3. Lunacy will have to try again. And he does. On the way to Surtees, he's looking to the inside. Not quite close enough. DP Mario shuts the door. Lunacy going for a late apex, trying to get that exit on the way to Hawthorns. Will we see a move around the outside once again, much like his team owner did in the first race?
I think we will. Lunacy needs to work out very quickly. He's got the tyre advantage here. He's
seeing
on the
a lot
softs.
of movement from DP Mario. A wide moment there from Lunacy as he's trying to find space on the track. He's got so much pace over the driver in front of him, but DP Mario is moving just erratically enough to throw him off his game as DP Mario goes wide there. He's onto the grass. And the black light car goes through into the podium position.
That looked fairly clean to me. Mario had a bit of a wide run. No contact that I could see.
Great pressure from Lunacy, and now it's race fans' turn. On the back of DP Mario. DP Mario now with a slipstream advantage from the car in front. That Sylvia's looking exceptionally wide to the CP driver. Down the inside he goes. He's wide. DP Mario's a little bit wide. Can he get on the power? A little bit of hip and shoulder from the CP car, and DP Mario's forced to fall behind. There's a flash of the lights there from the Sylvia. It looks like he might not have been happy with that.
Well,
and this
he
might
may not
hark
be
back.
happy with that. But he does need to bear in mind he is on the mediums, whereas the other two drivers around him are on the softs. They've got the grip advantage over him.
You know what I think that was? I think, if I remember correctly, in round one on the final lap, there was an incident between Racefan and DP Mario where Racefan didn't come out favourably. and DP Mario had contact that sent Race Fan off the track, and that might have been Race Fan saying, alright, if you can do that, I can do that too. Which is not what we want to see, but it might have been just that extra level of aggression from the CP driver just to say, hey, you're not all that, mate. I can do it too. We'll jump on board now.
I'm going to stay the hell out of that one.
I'm not sure if my memory's accurate on that one, but I seem to remember something like that.
If you're thinking about the Nürburgring GP race, I'm thinking I know exactly what you're referring to, but again, I'm going to stay the hell out of that one.
Well, it might be personal, but it's all over now because there's a second between them, and now Race Fan's got eyes on only one man, and that's Lunacy in P3. The podium is there for the taking. CP Motorsports could be on the podium today. The black light car's going to do everything it can to prevent that.
Speaking of the podium, I do have to show a little bit of bias towards my teammate here, who's currently 12 seconds to the good in P1.
He's looking good. He's had a stellar race so far, much like Daytona last week, or a fortnight ago. Stickers has had a good race too, currently P2, with clear air either side. Lunacy still pressure from the rear from the CP Motorsports car. We're going to have a look now on board with Evil Evo at what happened when he went off earlier on. Here we go on the exit of Hawthorns. Goes through and then into the next right-hander. Let's have a look at what happens on exit here. Gets a little bit loose on the apex. And there's the spin. Nearly collects the CP car, but just manages to get out of the way. Gets going again nice and quick, but the damage was done. And now he finds himself in P7 behind Old Wakey. He might be able to catch him if he really gets it together, but I think it's too far, too late. Race Fan now. 1.2 behind Lunacy. He's not close enough for a move. And he's struggling to close that gap down. What's our tyre situation like between these guys?
Both drivers are on the racing soft tyres. Both drivers are just under a quarter tank of fuel. The main difference is the Lunacy seems to have hammered his front left tyre a little bit more than Race Fan has. The Lunacy is down to, let's call it 25% left on his front left, whereas Race Fan's probably got closer to 35% left. So he's just set his best time through this sector by 1/10. So I'd keep an eye on Race Fan and Lunacy over the next couple of laps because
they're very equally matched for pace right now.
It's at that 1.1, 1.2 second gap, but don't know if that'll change or not.
We've just had an excellent display of sportsmanship up the front. Lenosis passing a back marker who got out the way under the blue flags, pulled right over to the side to let the leader through, and that allows him to maintain his 13.4 second lead over Stickers in P2 there. And a 28.6 for Lenosis as well, fastest lap so far. So an extra point for the Obsession team there as well.
And that back marker just so happens to be one of our fellow admin in Karen Unleashed. Plugging along in that 8.6. Having a bit of a chat with him.
Yeah.
Having a chat with him in the lobby earlier this evening, he was... it's safe to say he and the 8.6 were not as one.
No, it was an interesting decision for Deeds to pick the Subaru, especially after the way the BOP changed right before the season started, but they were committed to their choice, and you know, and now we're seeing what happens with that. But we've seen good performances from the Brocky 05 team, so clearly there's potential in the car. The guys will just have to put their heads together and extract what they can out of it.
Definitely. As an 8.6 driver around brands, I myself put it to myself that this would be a damage limitation round, and then drivers like Daz and Shiza come out with podium and just out of the podium finishes in the 8.6, which kind of made me reassess my perspective of this car and my own abilities. But anyway, back to the action here in Div 2.
We've got our eye on Race Fan at the moment, who's still trying to make inroads on Lunacy. He's got himself within a second, but he's continuing to make errors that are putting him out off the back and just dropping him out of slipstream here. Through Druids they go. Lunacy will be feeling the pressure right now. It's 8 tenths. There's certainly the opportunity for Race Fan to get a run, but this is the last lap, and he's not got a lot of time left to do it. Let's see what he can pull out of his bag of tricks. As Lunacy goes wide there, that's going to open the door to allow Race Fan to potentially launch a move into Hawthorns here.
Race Fan does have the tyre advantage. They are neck and neck on fuel, but Race Fan does have the better tyres.
Right on him. Into Hawthorns. He's going to have to go for a serious send here. Is he going to look to the inside? Not on this occasion.
Lenosis is just about to cross the finish line.
To the straight we come. Lenosis, stoked with his performance. Across the line he'll come to take his second victory in Season 7. Stickers in P2 for Lightning Motorsport with a fantastic drive. Will come across the line for P2 here.
Race Fan, has he got the inside line down the funnel? He does!
He does. Race
it.
Fan has gone through. They're going to be side by side coming out.
That
The
was
Ferrari's
a
going
very
to try
clean
for
move.
it. Look at that to the line. Race Fan gets it on the final lap.
Nothing left on that front left tyre.
Oh my
Absolutely
goodness.
nothing left.
DP Mario P5, Evil Evo, Old Wakey in P7 with a great recovery. Crazy Good Kung Fu in P8. Dadson will be P9. The Div 3 champion will come across the line in the SLS inside the top 10. And Patstar, who spun it. He spun it in the last sector. He's got to get going to beat Cruisin'. He's safe from Karen, who's finished a lap early. But a disastrous end to the race for Patstar. The Doghouse team having a bit of a hard time here at Brands Hatch this weekend. With trouble in race 1.
Not a great result for Cruisin' either, to be honest.
No, Cruisin' will be very disappointed, especially with the result of his teammate.
He was doing relatively well in the practice lobby earlier. It's, yeah.
A very interesting
I
race
wouldn't
up
be
and
happy
down.
with that one.
Moments of excitement, moments of drama, moments of questionable driving, which will be investigated by others and not discussed by us, because we should not get into that.
Nope, I don't touch that with a 30-foot pole. I allow drivers to make their own incident reports, and I leave it up to the stewards. I do not.
Yep, we'll park it there. We'll look at the results, the provisional results as they are in any case. Lenosis, which we're pretty confident is going to stand, goes home with P1 today with a fantastic drive, including the fastest lap. An excellent job, a dominating display, and I think that guy is on track to dominate Division 2 for the rest of the season. Stickers in P2 with another consistent drive. He's had some awesome results so far this season, and that will be one added to the tally. And Race Fan with a fantastic move into the last corner on the last lap on Lunacy to take P2. Opportunistic at best, and a fantastic drive from the CP Motorsports car, in a car that some would argue may not be the best around here, but he's made it work. And right behind him, Lunacy in the Blacklight Motorsports 458, ahead of DP Mario in the Silvia S15, who had a fantastic race, actually. I think he started a fair way down the grid, and he's ended up in P5 there, so a good recovery, whichever way you look at it. Evil Evo 9 in the 4C, the first finisher of the Doghouse Motorsport entries. Actually, quite a good result for Evil Evo, especially considering that spin he had when he was battling with the likes of Mario and Lunacy. And actually, he ended up ahead of Old Wakey again. So I don't know how he's done that, and we've missed that, unfortunately. But he did manage to creep back up to P6 there. So a great job from Evil Evo, and I think that's potentially worthy of a Driver of the Day nomination as well. although I'm sure there'll be many nominations in the chat by now, but please drop them down there. Let us know who you think. Crazy Good Kung Fu in P8 there. I think that's his best result of the season so far, so an excellent result for the ISA Esports driver. Have a look at Dadson in P9 in the SLS AMG. Oz Patstar in the 4C for Doghouse Motorsports rounds out the top 10. Cruisin and Karen 11th and 12th respectively in the Blacklight and Deeds cars. And 2 disconnects tonight from Smidmate, or Skidmate as he's affectionately known, and Salazar Black in the early stages of the race, unfortunately for them. So, discussion time. Who's the driver of the day? What do you guys think?
I'm going to throw my driver of the day nomination into the, God help me here, into the CP Motorsports corner of a race fan.
He did have a great race. I think DP Mario warrants a potential nomination as well. Lunacy with a great drive himself, and Stickers with a quiet race but a good race as well. You know, he kept out of trouble, kept his nose clean, did what he needed to do, and managed to come home with a comfortable second ahead of the rest of the guys. Old Wakey as well, who got turned around by Dadson through what appeared to be no fault of Dadson's own. But again, another one we'll leave for the stewards to decide that one. But an unfortunate incident for Old Wakey, putting him out of the running, more or less, with those guys up in front. And I think he could have been on for a podium there, potentially.
I'd say definitely on for a podium if it wasn't for that unfortunate incident, which, again, I will leave that up to any drivers who nominate for a steward's review and incident report. I am not commenting on that myself.
All good, all good. So that rounds out Division 2, round 3 for tonight. And that is us all run and done for the evening. So any more nominations for driver of the day, drop them down below. But that is the end of the entertainment tonight for us. And thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't already, please drop a like on the stream. It helps out Sector 1, helps boost us in the algorithm, so more people will discover us and more people will come race with us and build our league and make it bigger and better every season as we go on. And if you're new here and you need to subscribe, or you haven't subscribed, please do. And then you will see more content from us. We're live every Sunday, and now I believe every other Thursday. So keep your eyes peeled for more broadcasts from Sector 1, more of the same to come, and always improvements being made to the stream. So exciting times ahead for the league. But we'll leave you there for the night. And it's a thank you from the commentary team and all the drivers on track. A very well done to you tonight. And we'll see you all next week.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone who's joined us.